Well, it's a Platinum Jubilee celebration, not just at Epsom, not just on Pall Mall, but here in the Racing Post Live studio. Along with Betfair this afternoon, it's a Friday treat for you. Fantastic scenes we expect here in the studio. Myself, Dave Orton, delighted to be steering the ship. We're here for all through the card up to the Epsom Oaks. That's right, the second Fillies Classic. Emily Upjohn, are you with? Or are you laying her? Let us know. You can get involved, of course. If you're new to the show, welcome along. Like and subscribe on YouTube. That's the platform that we mainly watch on. There's a chat box for you. We'll give you a shout out. We've got loads of time in between the races today. Some hot tips coming your way. Raucous reaction. We're even going to try and beam into the track to join our main men there and get the colour. Sad week for racing, wasn't it? No Lester Piggott now with us, of course. We mourn Leicester in memory. The Derby for the first time tomorrow being run in memory of anyone. The great man gets his name on the Cazoo Derby. All the Leicester memories, let's have them this afternoon. We're going to have some fun. Who's with us then as we approach the 2 o'clock, the woodcook that kicks us off? It is the RP Live Queen, Exotic Queen. You even called that yourself over lunch. It's Natalie Green.
Because I like it.
Why wouldn't you?
I like it. I'm going to take that name.
I have got some names for everyone, and that is one of the better ones.
Forecast Queen.
Yep, so have you got anything exotic
Only
for us
one.
today?
It's not so exotic. I have got one forecast, which is pretty punchy, but I'm going for it. I can't tell you yet.
You can't tell us yet.
Just to get the interactions, to get people so excited to hear my forecast for the afternoon.
It's lovely to have you here. You've been here all morning, of course, doing the morning show.
I was feeling rather... I took nap time to a different level before, so when am I going to get my actual nap?
Just only one nap needs to count this afternoon, but let us know as soon as we go down the panel, right, what it is. Have you? All right, OK, brilliant. I'm delighted to say our Weeklies editor joins us back. Tom Marge Simpson Park joins us.
Yeah.
Now, Parky, great to have you back on the show, man. It's been a little while, isn't it? It's because you're a busy man. We can't get you in it.
Yeah, I've been just jollying all over the world.
Where were you last weekend?
I was in Brussels last weekend.
What were you doing in Brussels, Tom?
We were on a stag do. It was great fun.
How's your voice, Tom?
Yeah, struggling a bit. Yeah, went a little bit too hard.
If he coughs, we're in a lot of trouble, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's great to have you in, Tom. This is the sort of card you're going to get your teeth stuck into, isn't it?
Yeah, can't wait. Yeah, brilliant card. The Oaks looks a belter. And yeah, other Group 1 on the card as well, which is very exciting.
It's not the only Coronation in town this week, is it? Because Pile Driver's going to be crowned again in the Coronation, isn't it?
Yes.
We all can we
on, the
reveal
Pile
that?
He's our fans'
love
favourite in the weekend of this week.
He's got to be. He's Rocky Balboa, isn't he?
Stars,
Yeah, he's the people's horse. He's the narrative.
Yes.
He's the romance. He's just everything we want.
I won't be with him, but I'm with him in heart, but my head's gone elsewhere. But
The first bombshell on the show. It's time. Barry Orr is on track. Just to let you know, Barry's making his debut in the show here tomorrow. We've got G-Rod coming in to go head-to-head with Barry Orr. Never before has Barry Orr done RP Live in the studio. We have had him in the studio before, but replacing Barry today, I'm thrilled to say we go to Hammersmith, near Betfair HQ, for the drone pilot, Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, there'll be some fireworks tomorrow with G-Rod and Barry in, but great to be back on Oaks and Coronation Cup Day, competitive racing at Epsom this afternoon. I'll be showcasing the Betfair Exchange and Sportsbook capabilities. We've got additional places on 4 races at Epsom on the Betfair Sportsbook this afternoon. Plus, we've got a money back special on the 2 o'clock Epsom on Saturday. If your horse fails to place, you get your money back as a free bet. So maximum stake £10 per customer and is available to Exchange and Sportsbook customers. So make sure you take advantage of that and the additional places on offer on the Betfair Sportsbook today. But looking forward to today's action, trying to make some profit for the charity of choice, showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities. And obviously we've got that question, is Emily Upjohn a good thing or do we want to be taking her on? We'll find out shortly.
I imagine in Exchange land, Mark, she is the real... I mean, we've got 2 classics coming up this weekend with 2 clear favs, haven't we? Desert Crown tomorrow for Sir Michael Stout, of course. Richard Kingscote, huge moment for Richard. Already twice a Group 1 winner, but this is the classic on his CV. And here we have a more tried and tested firm. Today, Frankie, Gosden's, Emily Upjohn. With or against most people at the moment?
Don't know if I want to play my card just yet. Keep people in
Not
suspense,
you, man,
but
the public. That's what
listen. I think if she was odds on, you have to take her on at the prices. But she's on the drift right now.
What sort of SP are we expecting? Let's open this up to the floor. What sort of SP are we expecting Emily Upjohn to go? Because 6 trial winners. You got 2 horses that are placed in classics. She was always going to drift a bit, Parky, right?
yeah, she was too short when she was odds on. She's about the right price now, I think. Look, her performance in the Musadora is exceptional, and she's the one that is really rock solid. I think she's about the right price. I don't think she'll go off much bigger than that.
No, I don't. I don't. You won't get 2 to 1 about her.
And I think she'll be 5 to 4, 11 to 8. So 6 to 4. I think it's fair.
Would there be some alarm bells if she went 2 to 1? I mean, lots has been said about her temperament. Let's go to horsey woman Nat Green. Yes, quite.
This is because I've watched and listened to everything today, and I've said when we did the Good Morning Epsom show today, that's when I said, can we talk about Emily Upjohn? Because you can't ignore in the Musadora, she was absolutely fantastic on the Knavesmire, wonderful. She's massive, she's really scopy, she's really attractive, she catches the eye, but she was upset in the preliminaries. So I think the point is, on a packed Oaks Day at Epsom, is she going to light up? Probably yes, but it doesn't mean she's not going to win. But at Epsom, coming out the stalls, if she does too much too soon, that's when she could be caught out. So there is an argument against. I mean, look, I really like her, but would I be gobsmacked if she got beaten? No.
Right, so let's open it up to you out there. Are you with or against the potential reigning queen? I mean, if she wins this, Emily Upjohn, we're looking at King George, you know. Gosden likened her to Gruder, a very good winner of the race, who then went and take, you know, full advantage of that ridiculous allowance that we have for fillies and 3-year-olds. She was basically running on thin air that day, wasn't she, Paul Hannigan? Steal her home, I remember that day. And then, of course, you're looking at ARC favourites, aren't you, like Snowfall last year? Or is it a deeper race? Get it in. Let's open up the floor very shortly indeed. You can, of course, though, see the actual real market live as it's happening here on the show, courtesy of Betfair's Exchange. There is the Woodcut, the 2-year-old burn up, basically 5 furlongs. It's been won by some really good horses over the year. Is it as strong a renewal this year around Marc Hryhorskyj? Now, Keep Bidding was what we call the Tom and Keels double last night. They both went for the Beckett's 2-year-old. It was an eye-catcher on her debut at Nottingham. Lots of money, but typically, once people are on, the bookie's on course, trying to push her out.
Yeah, I thought she was a big eye-catcher at Nottingham on debut. Obviously, she got out quite late on. She was hemmed in. And obviously, the winner looked quite smart. Malandesi had already flown. The Midland Park runner could be smart. I don't think there's a lot of strength in depth here. Well, what we'll do is we'll get the lucky 15 on first. We'll put on the Betfair Sportsbook today. And we're going to take advantage of the additional place because there's one in this race that I'd like to add in there. So I think Tom's doing the honours today. You want to get this lucky 15 on for me?
Yeah.
This is not his first dance, by the way, Mark. He's what Barry would call a steady set of hands.
Yeah, take it easy on yours still.
So
put the pressure on now.
Yeah.
First one is 2 o'clock. We're going to bet Kesser Power of Stanmore's John Egan.
Kesser
we're going to take advantage.
Yeah,
66 to 1. We're paying 4 places instead of 3. We'll take advantage of that. She, for me, well, this one was a big eye catcher on debut at Chepstow for me. They went really quick early, and she showed good pace. Was green mid race. Pace collapsed, and she's ran on again. She'll appreciate the step up and trip. I think they're going to go fast here. I think this one's massively overpriced at 66 to 1. I think we can steal a place here. That's the first one. The 235. We're going to bet Boland Park. 5 places instead of 4.
Boland Park, 14 to 1.
We'll take that one, And the 345, we've got additional places on this race as well. We're paying 5 places instead of 3, so obviously massive value there for the Betfair Sportsbook customers. Victory Chime.
A horse that loves Epsom.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a fantastic record around there, 20 to 1. We'll take that. And in the big one, maybe show my hand here in the 430 Rogue Millennium. I think this one's 33, 40 to 1 on the Betfair Sportsbook right now.
Rogue Millennium 40 to 1,
Yeah, we'll bet £1 each way, lucky 15.
£1.
Here we go, drum roll as to what that on earth that'll pay.
I mean,
something out of the millennium,
massive.
this, isn't it?
This is punchy.
If it does win, I'll definitely get my P45 on Monday. But the
it's remarkable that's not happened already, by the way.
It's over 1 million potential returns.
Yeah, we've been close a few times.
We have. You think he's potty, don't you?
Yeah, I was going to this in the background.
This is Hryhorskyj for you. He loves to do
I love
this.
it.
And regulars will know that Marc can, regularly do this. Cap Francais runs on the card today. Who remembers that
Yeah.
during the Guineas weekend? Somehow managed to get that over the line. Right on hound, Cap Francais.
Hey.
Not when Marc put him up.
Not a hound.
Right.
40 to 1 that day. Done it quite well. But yeah, what we'll do in the first race at 2 o'clock as well, we'll back Cazoo Power each way on the Betfair Sportsbook, just as a single each way. We're paying 4 places instead of 3, so obviously we'll take advantage of that on the Betfair Sportsbook. If you go back and watch that form, Chepstow showed a bit of pace early, just got outpaced and ran on. I think Archie Watson's runner is pretty smart.
How much do we want on that? Was that
We'll do
Kessa Power again, yeah?
Yeah, 25 each way, please.
25 each way on
Thrown
Kessa,
us all this, hasn't it?
Kessa Power at 50 to 1, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're down at the start. I can tell you for the woodcut, business has started for the day. So I can see lots of tips out there, and Marc with the Cap Francais vibe, says regular George Murray out there. Self-praise for me, says Tom Barrett. So we're getting some socials up. I just heard someone in my ear. That means potentially we are. We are. Who's opening? Oh, it's a big weekend, and it goes to Damon Moffat. Honours for the Moffat. Blatant for me each way in the first. Let's go down the line, because you must have been listening to me this morning. This is the one I've put up, actually. Damon, I'm with you. What were you doing though? Were you mocking?
I was say I actually agree. There's loads to like about this horse and a good draw. I didn't know it was your pick.
This is a race where they do not tend to come back. My slight worry, Park, is that this gets ambushed and taken on. But I think it's because it's had the runs that people don't think it's that good. But it started off in Brocklesby, remember? I think it can take this out.
Yeah, that was my debut on RP Live. I backed it in the Brocklesby that day.
Yes, of
It
course.
ran all right, and it's kind of improved each run since. I can see it running a big race. I think the one that I like is Commander Straker. It is drawn very high, which is my worry. He has been out the gates quickly on his 3 starts, so I'm hoping that he'll ping the lids, get to the front, and nothing will catch him.
For Dave Lowe.
Yeah, but from stall 12.
Stall
he's gonna
12's
have
a
bit of
disaster.
It is a disaster.
A disaster. But Ross Orion, if he can move across really quickly, which he will.
Stall 12's a disaster.
brilliant-
I'm looking at the stats.
brilliant
It's an
jockey.
absolute disaster,
Yeah, but it's
Parky.
a disaster for a state as well, losing 11.
Yeah.
So they're 2 massive negatives. But I kind of agree with you. Don't give up on
He will
Commander
want to be
Scott,
out in front as well.
Yeah.
He will. It's whether it just depends how much he's going to have to burn to get there.
quickly
but
Ross
he's
can
quick
get.
out the lids.
Yeah, he is brilliant. We've seen him on all those ammo, expensive early breeze up.
I think you're
two-year-olds,
getting
haven't
it in the prize as well at 5 to 1. I kind of think, well,
we? Yeah.
I think he's probably the best horse in this race. So
Another social. Chris Timms, welcome back, Chris. Big afternoon ahead, my man, isn't it? Afternoon, everyone. Keep bidding for me in the first. So you're with Kills, you're with Tom Segal. What a year Tom is having at the moment. I guess you're liking the fact that there's so much pace in the race. We'll be picking up the pieces later on. But is there a worry that she gets too far behind?
I think Keels' point, which I totally get, is he's saying the others had the chance to improve, and on ratings, RPR of 95, given Commander Strikers an RPR of 96. If you look at it that way, you're like, of course, it's got an absolute cracking chance.
Yeah, Beckett's second time out.
And the step
Beckett's
up to
2-year-olds
6,
are
Philly
fine
by
at the moment.
Ribchester. There's absolutely... Look, she needs
Yeah.
to be more streetwise today.
It was a price thing with them, though, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
it's now totally collapsed, as we mentioned pre-race. Look, good luck. We're nearly off and running. What a weekend to be on planet Earth it is. What a celebration all over the country. Let us know where you're watching. You still got your bunting out? Some sore heads out there? Or is it all about saving yourself for the 4:30 races Friday? And we're back tomorrow, of course. Great panel for you along the line. They're going in.
Self-praise is my pick, by the way.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were with Blatant.
No, I was saying I agree, but self-praise is my actual pick.
All right, okay. Well,
Just in
good
case
luck
it
with
wins
self-praise.
now. Thanks.
This would be well-named winner for you, Nat.
Thank you.
And off we go. Off we go. And falling out the ball. Oh, no, Marc. I think you might be done. Or is that Langy Legend? All right, no, it's Adam,
it's on the
it's
rail.
Adam West that's fallen out. Marc's all right. As expected, there's a right tear up for the lead here. And it is, at the moment, Commander Strake and Ross Ryan has got to the front. Tom Park is absolutely loving life at the moment.
This is good.
Blatant can't go with them. Silencer for the Hannons, who's got the best record in the race, Kieran Fallon. He looks like he's in pole position if the leader falls in a hole. How are you feeling?
Dave, the two we said, stall 12, stall 11, Estate,
They're out in
they
front.
both pinged it and
They
stayed
don't
on that.
come
They've done
back.
too much.
They-
This is
they
the
may be,
This-
but it's...
do you think he's done too much?
I don't know. I'm happy where I am now.
You're
It's
wobbling.
exactly where I'd
Shandy
wanna
Star
be.
for the Fells is coming, and Nick Bradley. Estate now looks like he's coming there. Silencer, Blatant can't go to pace. Here comes the 5. Keep bidding. We knew she was going to come late. Is it too late? It looks
comes
the
the lead.
way.
Here comes
This
the
is a
strike.
Maidel. They don't come back in the woodcut. One is trying to go with it. What is this? It's Legend of Xanadu.
This is David
and he's going to pick
Jennings'
it up, is
pick.
it? Oh, Parky, you're going to get done on the line. Horrible
By
scenes
DJ.
for
DJ's
Tom Park.
pick.
And self-praise is absolutely flying for second. Far
Oh.
too late in the day. Woo! Changing a slow final furlong there. Let's go to Marc Hryhorskyj. I heard him umming and ahhing all the way. You tried to knock it out the park, man, but that was a race in which very little happened.
Yeah, totally agree. Commander Storm, Ross Ryan gave that one every chance from the front. This one's went as low as 2.28, so roughly around the 5-4 mark for £141, but just got swallowed up late on from William Buick. It was actually the eventual winner, or the favourite on there. It was BSP 5.5, so the money did come for this one late on. Keep bidding was quite weak. I thought Self-Praise, that was a big improvement from that second last time out. It was a BSP 6.95, so there was plenty of money for that one. That one's went as low as 2.54. I didn't think that one was ever going to get there. Kessler Power, I think ran okay, just got outpaced in the race and got outclassed. But nice winner, League of Xander for William Buick there. Perfect ride, picked up Commander Striker.
We may have...
Self-praise has come from...
Listen, this is what it
On the
can do.
clouds.
No, this is why I'm all over this horse on Good Morning Epsom today, as my each way. I'm more delighted than getting a win. I can't say how happy I am.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous thing to say.
Dave, I'm so happy with that performance. I didn't say a win, though, on the show. And each way, and to get second, that was a crack. Oh, I love that.
Tudhope and Palmer flashing home. Parky, what a shout. Do you think you've lost it? So you were on, of course, Commander Straker, and I did notice...
The draw costs... Well, yeah, the winner's been... He's finished off quite on the second. Look where he is now.
Self-praise. You can't go to gallop whatsoever.
So, but he's had to do a lot to get there.
Yeah. Where's the winner at this point? Also mid-back.
Yeah, he's like about 5th or 6th on the outside, is he?
Now, I want to talk about two things here. We're going to give you, of course, what we think the ground might be. Lots been said, oh, blimey, about the ground and these courses and watering, etc. It has been an unsettled week, hasn't it? We will see exactly what the ground's talking about. Now, when you see a horse come down the middle in the first race, having stuck to the middle throughout...
First and second have
it's
come round
Epsom,
as well.
isn't it? You never know quite where they're going to go when there has been some rain about. This is Andrew Cooper, one of the best in the business. We'll get you the time. We'll make it out. But I wonder, having hung to the rail, Commander Straker, you probably say he was tiring because he's not got second in the end.
Yeah, I think there's maybe an element of both because everything that is running up that stand rail's gone backwards. So
yeah,
it was a solid run. Look, we said that the draw was a worry. It was factored into his price. I think he's run a perfectly good race. The winner's impressive. The second, though, I mean, he's come from.
Is that one of the biggest eye catchers of the season?
It's what he does. He was solely away at Chester. This is what the horse does. This is no surprise to me when I saw him where he was. He's such a strong
So you're suggesting
finisher.
even if they put him over 6-7 furlongs, he's still going to do it?
I'm not
Loads
sure he
of
handles
stamina.
bends well,
Loads of
considering
stamina.
he's been at Chester and Epsom. I mean,
Well, if you're at Hugo Palmer's at the moment, you have to go around bends.
you
I'm
have
afraid.
to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but look at his pedigree and his dam side. Honestly, stamina's not an issue.
Yeah,
for
some
Self-Praise.
disappointments in the race, weren't there? Blayton's not really run his race, which is slightly disappointing. Ross Briley was all over that in the office a minute ago. He'll be on the floor about that. Just a reminder, In the Know is back around about 6 o'clock tonight after we go off air. Again, look, let's talk about the winner, because this is what we tend to do on this show. Occasionally we get bogged down by, wow, that's come from nowhere. And, you know, a couple of connections have pulled me before. And he never talked about more stuff.
Fair enough.
Right, so box 41, Mick Shannon. 60s icon, who, of course, is Mick's sire, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was his St. Ledger runner. And, you know, they made him into a very good sire, basically. And Mick bought up a lot of the stock and gets them running over these shorter trips. This is a horse that had plenty of experience, took him 4 times to win, thrashed them at Redcar last time over 6.
He just ticks a lot of the boxes. 4 starts, coming here off a win, stepping up. You know, this was a bigger ask for the horse, but he done it and done it brilliantly. You know, Will Buick on board is a huge positive. And actually, Redcar last time, if you watched the replay, was pretty good because he's sort of ducking right at the start, but just kept on so strongly.
That's what I liked about this performance. He looked a lot more professional.
Yeah.
Like he looks like he's. I mean, he was impressive at Redcar, but he's gone straight as an arrow down the.
Put the pieces together.
Yeah, exactly, and that's hard to do as a 2-year-old at Epsom. So
I'd like to know where people are watching us at the moment, because it's bank holiday, isn't it? We'll come back to this race in a second, but I've got a social that's coming in. Look at this, PC Henderson. What does PC stand for? Watching for Buffalo, New York. I wish I could see the actual races, but can't find it. Well, this is one of the reasons why we're here, Henderson. All right, so we're going to try and talk you all through it. We'll give you the reactions, and of course, we'll try and tell you where your money went. It's probably one of the best shows for that. So, great welcome along from New York. What time is it over there at the moment? It'd be early morning, wouldn't it? I would imagine.
Yeah.
I could tell you.
We get people watching from all over the place. A few
quickly.
Bajans? I should Barbadians.
9 o'clock, maybe it's in New York.
Something like that, isn't it? Have you been to New York?
I have. I was there in January, actually.
Of course
It's
you were.
amazing.
See, this is what I mean.
9:06.
It's ridiculous.
9:06, there we go.
I'll tell you what, the pandemic must have really messed with your brain because you like to get around, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've made up for it all in the last few months.
You really have.
My bank account knows as well.
Okay, all right. So we need to try and boost that. Anyway, Tom got well. I would say you got closest. Actually, Nat got closest. Now look, we're gonna have a little tipping challenge here today. Look at this bad boy. This is the Racing Post Live Tipping Cup. All right?
I'm winning that.
Well, at the moment you are winning. All right. The boys in the studio will keep. I'm on a 0, a duck egg. Tom's on a place. You're on a place. But if it's count back, you're all right. Do you like the look of this?
It's coming home with me.
Bit of dust on it. But
It's coming
I
home
have a
with
very
me.
good record-winning trophy, so I'd like to win one. This would be good when it's like live on air, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, maybe the one to win.
Who do you think's going to win it? Let us know this afternoon. I've got a little idea. It's quite nice, isn't it?
It's very competitive though. You've like added something. It could get spicy now.
Let's get some more socials up. We've got loads of time to talk in between races. I want Beth Oaks memories, Epsom memories. Who's ever been to Epsom before? You'd be surprised how many people have never made the pilgrimage. Breezar says I got Xanadu last night at 8-1. And what SP did we go off, Marc Hryhorskyj?
Around 5.5 on the Betfair Exchange, so roughly 9-2 on the Betfair Exchange. I imagine it would be shorter on the sports
100
book.
to 30, I think he was.
130, yeah. So it was bigger price on the Betfair Exchange, but 9-2.
Marc, you've
But
got
it
a
was
long
heavily
way to go
supported,
to win
so
this
yeah.
trophy, just to let you know. I'm looking
Lots
at you.
of time, lots of time.
And the other thing I want to pull you up on, Marc, you've still got Envoy Allen as the... Look, I know it costs a little bit to get the frame off and all that sort of thing, but surely you've got to go to Applutard now, haven't you, on that picture out there? That's ridiculous, man.
I was more thinking honeysuckle, just to wind some people up on social media. That'll go down well.
We're good at that on this show. PC Henderson
The
comes
best
back on and
2
says,
miler around.
it's 9 a.m. at the moment in New York. Great to have you, man. Stick with us this afternoon. I need some more tea. Yeah, we could all do with a little bit of that at the moment. So Legend of Xanadu 4-1. So it's smashed. Well done, Breezer, if you got that out there. We'll get some more socials coming on. Self-praise. Where do we go with him next? Who's on him to make it 4th time lucky? Massive eye catch. You just wonder whether he might be one of those. Look, Pinatubo's won that race before. Card Sharp's won that. There are no real stars in that, or am I wrong?
Well,
Legend of Xanadu, is he going to go and win a group, proper group race?
No.
I
just think it's a good ride by William Buick. I think he was in the right place at the
Yeah.
right time.
Yeah, I think
First
so.
run.
This
Quite
used
strong
to-
to say
Too far
proper.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
William
stars.
Buick again.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have cottoned onto the Buick factor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, going all out, isn't he? And he's on a right roll as usual.
Absolutely.
It's going to
Yeah.
be too short next time out. Self-praise. It's going to be over a bit.
Well done to Dave Jennings, though. It was his pick.
Was it?
Yeah, he'll be delighted because
What is Xanadu?
he's really keen.
We've got to be careful when we do this. haven't
Oh, we
Because-
did a
What was the
hilarious
one we did the other
one
day?
the other way, didn't we?
What was it?
No, I can't even. We can't say it on air.
Nat basically tried to find out a names of a horse out there, and it turned out it was something that was unprintable, basically.
Unprintable.
Unprintable. And G-Rod
I
started
thought it was
laughing.
hilarious, but
All that
I
sort of-
showed
Graham
G-Rod, he
Rodway
was like-
joins us back on the show tomorrow, I'm delighted to say. States his professional reputation on Desert Crown. Who's with the Fav in the Derby? What prices have you got out there? There were some silly prices before the Dante, weren't there? Of course, she drifted in that. But who's with that? Does he just win?
So Xanadu.
2-1 on the Betfair Exchange right now.
It's twos?
3-5 for Desert Crown. Yeah, 2-1.
That's about the right price, Mark, for my money.
So Xanadu, you could look at it two ways. You can look at it as the 1980 American musical fantasy film, or if you're of a different mindset, you'd look at Greek mythology, a metaphor for opulence or an idyllic place.
I think that's probably what the owners have probably done.
One would imagine.
Unless, I mean, Box 41, if you're out there listening, obviously, I imagine that's... I can't remember who they are. It's a syndicate, obviously, and they've had quite a bit of success over the years. But well done, DJ. All right. It was a good reason to watch your morning show there.
Well, we got the first
All
second.
the winners are there. You've had the forecast.
Yeah.
You're going through the cards.
Yeah.
All right, which is something that we're not doing thanks to that winner, but well done to you out there. There is the market for the next then. I'm squinting a little bit. I've had to move over slightly today.
It's trying to be closer to me.
And my eyes are not... look at this, Chris. Oh, God. Chris Hryhorskyj. Have I got that right, Chris? I might have it wrong. Watching from Trinidad. Welcome along, man. Happy days. Let us know what wins the Oaks or the Derby. Derby memories, Chris. Let's have it. All sorts of derbies all over the world. This is the Derby. Do you call it... Obviously, we call it the Cazoo Derby because we give the nod to in the paper,
Cazoo,
Tom,
Cazoo,
don't we?
Cazoo.
To the sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom and Bruce before him and...
Not the Epsom Derby, though. That
It's not
really
the Epsom
grates
Derby.
on me when I
Yeah.
see Epsom Derby. It's just the Derby.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the Derby that's run at Epsom. not the Epsom Derby.
We don't call the Newmarket 2,000 guineas, do we? We call it the 2,000 guineas.
Yeah, and like you've got...
Is that a bit pompous of us to think that we should...
Maybe, but we are a little bit pompous.
This is the equine test, of course, isn't it? It said Tezio back in the day, you know, the great stallion.
You've got other derbies, but it's the Kentucky Derby. This is the Derby.
This is the Derby of
Irish
the
Derby, French Derby.
Yeah, but this is, look at the history. I mean, look how long you have to scroll to. It's incredible. It's magical. It's wonderful.
Stevie Donohoe went. We had in the studio recently, beaming back into George on the show. He won the Bahamas Derby. What was it? Something Champ de Mars.
I wonder if Trinidad has a derby.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to, Tommy.
Yeah.
Well done. Let's see.
That's how it. So listen, let us know if there is a Trinidadian derby out there. Coventry Stakes, quote, Marc, for Legend of Xanadu, I'm imagining.
Yeah, I'll have to get that one up for you, but we'll get on that one. Probably be not too short.
Okay, this is what I love about Marc when you work with him. He sometimes the camera goes on him and he's proper intense. Usually when he's watching one during the race. I'm sure
At least someone is, Marc.
It's got to be the Coventry next. And they'll have a go, won't they? Because it's everyone back at Ascot this year.
Yeah.
It's 14
You know, that's
to 1
supposed to be
available.
happening.
We're 14 to 1 on the Betfair and the Paddy Power Sportsbook right now.
Let us know. Is anyone just... I mean, Card Sharp, from memory...
Yeah, there was Card Sharp, Pinatubo.
Did Pinatubo... It wasn't Coventry. Did he go to...
Chesham it went.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? That from 6 furlongs up to there. He
Yeah,
did go
yeah,
to Chesham,
yeah.
didn't he? Yeah. So, look, we have seen Wild Ascot winners in this race.
He was.
I just wonder how
unusually
strong it was. What, let's talk about some of the other horses. Keep Bidding was a bit disappointing. Kills will need to pick himself a bit up onto that, won't he?
I didn't fancy it.
You didn't fancy it. Sorry, Marc, go on.
I don't think she handled the course. Keep Bidding. Probably give her another chance.
All right, forgiving
She's
that
just
mood.
she's not raced streetwise. I mean, she
Yeah.
had like that one run. It's a bit of a
That is it's a brave place to take a
brave
once-raced
place.
non-novice winner, isn't it?
Brave place.
How many 2-year-olds have ran badly at Epsom and then bounced back?
Exactly.
You shouldn't give up on them solely off. If you've ever been to Epsom, you can see, we were just discussing earlier, that it's a mad track. It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So
Oh God, she'll 100%. Yeah,
We're going to
100%,
see.
but
We're
you
going to
just-
see bumper cars in the next race, aren't we? At 2:35 coming up. We're around about 20 minutes away from that. All being well, I'm going to get you the time for the verse. We'll get some quotes coming in. We're hoping to beam into Lee Mottershead, who's our senior writer at the track. Sad week, of course. Lester Piggott passing, and
Really sad.
I mean, look. Let's get this out of the way. I've said this on What a Shout yesterday when I did it. Most of the time we're proud to work for the Post, but certainly on Monday it felt like we were rightly lauded, Tom, about that. It was a hell of a package,
Oh,
wasn't
absolutely. And like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't working on Monday, but like, I'd have known it's just, stuff like that. We do such a good job. Everyone have been hands on deck to do Lester Piggott justice, to do racing justice, because it's just one of them. He touched a lot more people outside of. He was one of the great sportsmen.
Did you ever see him ride? I mean, you're younger than me, aren't you?
No, I mean, I've seen replays, but
No,
no.
I never saw him ride in the flesh either. I mean, I was a bit too after his time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I remember, obviously, as a young lad, I remember it all. You know, at Leicester.
Just his legacy and his. I mean, ever since I've worked here, he's just always been a massive figure, and he's one of them. We don't have many in racing that's actually bigger than the sport itself. He was definitely one of them. He was one of the great sportsmen that we've ever produced.
When I started working on the news desk, I didn't do a lot on the news desk, but I did, the occasional shift to work out what it was, and people like Bill Barber had to hold my hand through it and all that sort of thing, and we would occasionally pick up the phone, and you would get someone important on. And so, thanks to Sir Peter O'Sullivan, the late Peter O'Sullivan, who was his great mate, we actually used to do quite a bit with Lester, didn't we?
Yeah.
And you'd get, well, Lester's up for doing this, and all that sort of thing, and you'd be like, all right, what does he want for it, and all that sort of thing. But thankfully, we all knew a bit about him. One quote that, was it Frankie said, it was Kieran Fallon said, it was like the mafia coming into the weighing room. He had that old school air about him, definitely a bygone era.
It's quite nice. So I've met him a few times at the St Ledger
Did you now?
festival. Yeah, he went every year. And up until recently, I mean, COVID kind of scupped a lot of things, but he just has this amazing aura about him where you can't help but be drawn to want to talk to him. And I just felt really sad last week because I was at Haydock on Saturday having such a great chat with Maureen because I was obsessed with that Sea La Rosa.
His daughter, obviously, of course.
Maureen, who's phenomenal horsewoman, used to be a great event rider, obviously married William Haggis. And I said, oh, how is your dad? She was like, yeah, but hopefully, he's coming home in the next day or two.
Yeah,
and then so when the news broke, I was just like, I felt so just sad for her because I'd just seen her the day before, and I just thought, look, everyone, we all die. That's, you know, we all live and die. But it was so sad, and like, I was too young to see him ride. But even watching like the 1992-2000 Guineas when he was 56 years of age, he had Rodrigo de Triano, Peter Chapelheim at the back. He stayed at the centre of the course and just burst through at 56 years of age, was just like this, and the horse absolutely powered to the line. I was like...
The story about how he got that ride was very interesting. It was John Reed and him, wasn't it? And he was obviously the first... Frankie, obviously, look, the front of the paper, we know tomorrow, Frankie rides Piz Badil. Lots been said about Frankie jockeying riders off. Well, his great friend Lester taught him obviously how to do that perfectly because Lester was the original, wasn't he?
But you were talking about the old school, I mean, that particular time was owned by Robert Sangstein, all these...
Brilliant.
Do you remember? It just brings back all that.
The thing is, you talk about him riding in his 50s. This was, like, so many years ago. Like, you don't have the sports science and the nutrition and stuff that we have now. Like,
and everything that he did to his body, of course. Maureen recently in Prince said, you know, we're aware that he's had a great innings, really. And if you go back to his piece with Lee Mottershead, we'll move on to the next week shortly, but I think we ought to do this. Lee Mottershed's great piece with him. Towards the end, he said, you know, it's been a good, decent life. You know, he said, can't complain with it. And I thought, and obviously he was a lot of bumps in the road, you know. I remember the Queen saying Leicester's been very naughty, you know, when obviously with the tax issue. But, great story.
So price, but like,
most of the stories we can't tell on this now. With
but to reach people from outside the racing world, because the racing world can be niche, as in if you don't follow racing.
Yeah.
So everybody's heard Lester Piggott.
Lester Piggott, John McCrick, the late John McCrick now, and Frankie. They're the three names that if you go to Alaska and say you're into horse racing, they all know who that is.
I met someone from Alaska when I was on my honeymoon.
And did they say, Frankie Dettori?
Well, no, but they kind of knew, they're normal people from Alaska. I didn't know that. Like, I thought they'd be like...
Where it's like...
Wearing, like, big...
4 feet deep in July of snow,
stuff,
Have you been to Alaska? Have you? I'd always like to go.
They were good people.
Anyone watching from Alaska? That's what we want to know out there. We know you're out there today. Let us know you're there. Keep coming in. Any questions for Nat, Tom, or indeed Marc Hryhorskyj, who I'm now going to go to. You tried to knock it out the park with a 66-1 shot. I think they're still looking for it. What is going to be the tip in the next, Marc?
I wouldn't let go of that one just yet. Give this one another chance next time out, Cazoo Power. But back at Epsom, 2:35. I think this is competitive, so we're going to Dutch 2 in this race. So the first one is This Is Us for Richard Hannon and Sean Levy. I think this one was unlucky. Haydock third behind Tim Easterby's progressive Boardman got whipped in the face, making the challenge. Boardman's 100 plus now, so we're going to bet 2 in the race. Has good course and distance form.
Is this on the Sportsbook or Exchange?
Yeah. So we're going to take advantage of the Betfair Sportsbook here because we've got additional places. You've got 5 places instead of 4. So that'll be the first one that we'll bet. If we could have £15 each way on that one.
£15 each way. It's 7-1. Oh, This Is Us.
And the next one is Bowling Park, Daniel Kubler and Jack Mitchell. I think this is a really interesting runner. Appreciate the cutting ground. Important. Got Epsom form. Dropped £1 for that red car run. He's still £2 above his last winning mark. I think he'd be competitive here off 86. So we'll have a tenner each way on Bowling Park. I think he's 20-1. Or he came in a little bit. He's 14s now.
14s, yeah. £10
we'll
each
take
way.
that. Yep.
There we go.
Being told to put her chair up by the producer, and I thought you were going to.
I didn't want to. I was like,
Bruce Millington has fallen off a chair before doing Cheltenham.
I didn't want to.
Don't steal his thunder there. Well done then, Marc. All right, okay. So I mean, is this a sort of race where you've got a showcase, you know, for the charity, and was safe gambling out there. You don't have to play in every single race today. We are just covering every single race for you because we know most of you will not back in every single race. But is this the kind of race where personally you might have 1 or 2 in, or are you just going to have a small wager here and watch the fireworks go off?
Yeah, there'll probably be fireworks, but I don't. I try to stay away from these races just for say the one bet, but I would bet more than 2, maybe 3, 4 in the same race. It's about long-term profit for me, but it's not the sort of race I would normally approach. A bit wide open for me, a bit competitive.
I don't believe that, Marc. I love this sort of race. This is the more I go on in racing, and I'm going on in racing. Trust me, I'm starting to feel the.
What age-wise?
Oh, I am. I mean, I've been 19 years at the Racing Post. We talked about it earlier. Keels, he said 35. Made me feel a lot better. 19 years at the Racing Post.
19 years. You're still here, Dave.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But I don't know. Yeah, I'm approaching another year this weekend as well. and I don't know.
Oh, it's his birthday on
I've
Sunday.
got 2 kids that
Sunday.
are getting a bit, going up, and I'm starting to get, oh my Lord, I'm approaching the hump. But as I go on in racing, I maybe was a bit more like Marc at the start, far too competitive for me. Give me a novice, or a novice hurdle, 11-4 shot against an even money shot. Love it, have a go at it. But now I love to get the puzzle.
Yeah,
I think it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I like this race.
Does everyone know about the camber at Epsom? And we're assuming that you all know why Epsom is such a tricky. Dan Walsh, the producer, asking me if I'm regressive. Tricky word, regressive, because it means you've been somewhere to start with, isn't it? It means
a good
I could be
word.
in decline. Regressive means going back to where you were. Might be right, Dan, actually. The camber at Epsom, it's like that, isn't it, Parky?
Massive.
You've been to Epsom. Should we get this out the way?
Yeah. Yeah, and anyone who goes to Epsom, especially on the train, you get off at Tatton Corner and you are looking straight down the 5 furlong chute. So it's really cool to get a nice picture and stuff. And if you're ever there, when I used to do the odd summer shift, the evening shift there working, if you go there at night and get the sunset coming down, it sets over the top
I
of the
remember
race
when you
course,
used to do
which is
those.
really cool.
Yeah, you would send me quotes afterwards, wouldn't you? and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that.
Will have done, yeah.
And I'd be like, poor old Parky, he's up there. And the whole time he's
Well, it
having a
has
great
to be
crack,
pretty
of course.
special for people like Aidan O'Brien to build Tatton Corner at home.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, because Ballydol
To
have
train
replicated
their
it, haven't
horses
they?
on,
Again,
so-
we'll get into that as we go on. There's a reason why Ballydols do so well in the Derby. Of course, it's the race that makes a stallion, isn't it, of course?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Hasn't done in recent years.
it's a bit funny because it's for a race that is so important to breeding and everything. Good horses don't necessarily out there, so the best horse might not.
We've seen some freaky old results, haven't we? Even
Yeah.
Hadiyar, the King George, subsequent King George winner, was a surprise last year. Oh yeah, okay, you're right. I just remember
My 50-1 bet.
which you didn't back, do you remember? Because you couldn't get any reception, which was a winner for the rest of us.
No, I did. But
Did you?
I
Oh,
couldn't go.
probably
I
put it
couldn't
on or something.
go in again.
Well, look, Epsom's got a bad camber, so basically unbalanced horses. That's the theory. I'm sure you all know out there, but there are people that come up to me, and now that we're all open again, say, "I love the show." Don't always really know what you're on about. But I love the energy of the show, and we love the
That's great.
reaction, things like that. But this is what we try and educate a little bit, but we are fully aware that there is a lot of exchange players out there watching this, and looking for all the price differentials, what's going to go on in running, what's going to be shorter, and all that sort of stuff. So there's something for everyone on this show, whether you're a seasoned Betfarian or a newcomer. It is a tricky course, and if you get one that comes there on the bridle, and you think you're going to go and get the money, and then all of a sudden it doesn't like the
Switch
camber,
legs and-
maybe a little bit like yours in the first that hung towards the rail.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they can hang. I mean, as an analysis from that side of view, if you're watching back the Oaks, the Derby, look at the horses in behind, and if there are any that are really struggling to find their lead leg, they're often ones to. I always remember Capri years ago, and I was doing the anti-post column at the time. I put up for the Ledger after. And it was because he just could not
He won that, didn't he?
He won the Ledger, yeah. I mean, it was
Self-praise,
probably a lucky one because I think there was Stradivarius, Crystal Ocean.
I backed Stradivarius
Defoe.
now. How did you get beat?
It was a hell of a Ledger.
Crystal Ocean was in it. Yeah, you're right. It was a serious
was
ledger, wasn't
serious.
it? You're right. Some horses just don't go at Epsom, but
Just the balance. It's going to be very well balanced.
we will
good rhythm.
try and find those that do, including in this race. So, Marc, a reminder for anyone that's just joined in: what's the Betfair selection in this?
Yeah, we've Dutch 2 in this race, and we used the Betfair Sportsbook. We're taking advantage of the additional places. We're paying 5 places instead of 4. We're on Oh This Is Us for Richard Hannon, and we're on Bowling Park for Daniel Kubler. That's the 2 we're playing against the field each way.
The Kublers. We talked about them recently. Are you all right? Are you with us? You
Yeah.
having a little yawn there?
No.
You waited till Marc
I was
went
just
Channeling your
doing
horsey
yoga with
person
my
again.
face, Dave.
Yes, okay. So the Kublers, who we like and who have had a good season so far, haven't we? And racing by numbers very much with them. Jack comes on. Welcome, Jack. Oh, totally forgot the charming. Totally Charming for the Buick Double. Oh, right. On Totally Charming for the Buick Double, says Jack. Anyone like Totally Charming, who has been well backed for classic winning trainer George Bowie?
Look, it's very progressive. The question mark is, and it's not. You can look at it, you can get too into it, but coming from the all-weather onto turf, it has ran on the turf twice and did okay, but it's just naturally on the all-weather, flat, standard going. So you would just, for me, you'd just be a bit like, wow, Epsom.
It's in
what
the
we've
one
just
It
poke
couldn't
as
be
well.
anything
more different.
different to what he's going to be.
So yeah,
that
it's
today.
very
Did we
progressive
get
horse.
time in the first? Let's have a look. Let's see if we've got eagle-eyed and eared producers will probably tell me about this. We'll try and get a time in the first, see how far standard it was. Oh, here we go. Don't worry, producers. I've got it elsewhere. It was thanks to Dave Randall out there who's doing live tipster today. Good old boy, Davis. He was first at Epsom. Slow by 1.5 seconds, which isn't bad, considering that's basically good ground, Parky, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it's good, yeah. Looked good as well, I mean...
We're happy with that, aren't we? Because there was a little bit coming off the top of it, so nice cushion.
Yeah, and I think actually they've got some thunderstorms forecast for tomorrow early in the morning,
It has.
Can you remember that
Keep an eye on that.
thunderstorm in Enables Oaks that came right at the start of the race, and the race was running like darkness?
One of my favourite
I
oaks.
remember when
Yeah, it was. That was
Cazoo beat
amazing.
One of my
Islington.
favourite oaks
Do you remember
ever.
that when they came stand side? And Cazoo, Frankie got the... Was it Frankie on Cazoo? Probably would have been, wouldn't it, for the good
But
old
that
He
oak
got the
day
rail
for
and
me.
Islington, the great filly, got beaten because he didn't get the rail. Of course, when it chucks down, will they be coming stand side in the Derby? Very, very rare you see that. You can see it in Oakses. Weird, isn't it?
Well, we saw a day come over the draw.
Well, Stall 1, which Totally Charming is in, Jack, and Stall 1 hasn't won this race in the last 10 years. It's got a terrible record over a mile 4. Of course, we gave that a large on the Derby show, do you remember last year? And we were saying, oh, Eddie, I was beaten at Lingfield. Adam Kirby takes the ride, poor old Curbs, he'll get his classic one. And of course, he goes and perfect ride from Stall 1, blows it out, the first horse since Oath in 1999 to win from draw 1. Not so bad here, of course, over the mile, extended mile, but hasn't done it in the last 10 years. There's money for Carolus Magnus, Marc, I'm seeing.
Yeah, lots of money for that one for Andrew Balding. One that's notably weak is William Haggis's Fireworks. I mean, that one was single figures earlier. It's out to 13.5. Well, 13's on the Betfair Exchange. Bullen Park's kind of like 29s, 30s on the Betfair Exchange. But Carlos Magnus just went favourite there, 5.8. It's probably going to go off for 9 to 2.
Lightly pace angle?
He's a remarkable story, you know. As a 2-year-old, he split both of his pasterns. That's horrendous.
What does that mean for anyone, you know, that doesn't quite...
The hoof's there, the pasterns above, and he basically effectively fractured them. Pasterns can
You
nip
didn't
back.
like the thought of that.
not
You're a
very
bit squeamish,
nice.
Sparky, because you went...
It's not very nice for 2-year-olds, really, to have that injury.
No,
but
of course.
pasterns, they can heal, and thank goodness it did. But I think even Andrew Baldwin was like, God, it's his credit to the horse to get back to where he is and to be back on the track the way he is, because that could be a career-ending injury, but thank goodness it isn't.
That's
why
you're here occasionally,
It's
you
a
see,
great
to tell us
story.
about the physical side of the equine beast. OK, Totally Charming, just a quick word on this. He's well drawn in stall 1. Is he, though, George? And he should enjoy the ground as he's by Charming Thought and out of a pivotal, so they thought there might be a little bit of cut in the ground. All right, he doesn't do a lot home, but so that's interesting. So they've obviously backed him again. He's off a mark of 91. Let's get some more tips. Carolus Magnus is a likely pace angle, bidding to do what Captain Straker couldn't quite do from a wide angle. David Probert keeps winning races on this show when we're on it. Is anyone like him?
I like Oh This Is Us. So,
Oh, man.
can
All right,
we-
let's do
'cause
this.
This is a legend of a horse, Oh This
Let's
Is
do
Us. I mean,
this.
how many times he run? About 60, 70 times?
You're getting on my nerves a bit here, Parky, because
Do you think they'll go stand side or far side here?
87 times. I
they're,
mean,
they're not coming stand side yet, Marc, I don't think. It has to
Dunno.
be... oh, God, I mean, look, never say what jockeys will do, really, but you never know.
it's definitely worth keeping an eye on after that first race, because the first and second did
Up the
really
middle's the
fly
bias,
up the
isn't it?
middle,
Yeah,
Middle.
yeah, because all right, I see what you're trying to say here. Before we go down the tips and we talk about some, Oh This Is Us, who I love, but he's got.
He was unlucky at Haydock, got whipped in the face by the winner.
If you think he was unlucky at Haydock, what did you make of the Chester run last Saturday?
Disappointing. Chester form.
Hang on a minute, Marc. You obviously don't know.
He
Oh
did
This Is
run
Us,
on,
don't you?
though, the last 50
He
yards.
never finished out the first 3 there, OK? And while he said it was an inadequate trip, apparently, to Connections afterwards, the 7.5 furlongs, Andrea Azzini, I think, thought there was another lap when he was coming off the bend. Because how Boardman managed to get first run on him, I think the tactics were just wrong. And look, Andrea, brilliant jockey. He's done all of us so many favours over the years. But that was one he probably would have wanted back. And the fact he's turning out again quickly at a track here. My worry was the draw, but maybe now what you've seen, you're happy with it.
The draw is my worry. I mean, it's funny how we talk about Stall 1 being such a bad draw, but there's no reason why it should be a bad draw, really. I mean, they're getting the shortest run round, but it can't be a coincidence that it is such a problem. They just seem to get swallowed up round.
It gets proper rough in this race
does,
as well,
yeah.
from memory. Do you remember when Abseil landed a gamble about, I don't know, when was that, for Sir Michael Stout and Khalid Abdullah? That was from stall 2 under James Dort in 2014. Everyone was on him. He's the only favourite to have won this outright favourite, and he got buffeted about all the way. He's just such a good horse, he overcame it. You can see some good things beaten in this race.
Yeah, I think you've got a good point, because for me, how I expect it to happen, which it probably won't, but Fantastic Fox, XL Power, Hryhorskyj, Variant are going to go forward. They're going to have a good pace. So I do think it will be. I'm not saying what. Dave's laughing because I had to ring him. I was like, Dave, I can't see unless it takes me 3 hours to go, unless I watch every single race for every single horse. Where do I find the pace? Why isn't there a thing I can see the pace? Dave's like, oh, Nats, there is.
It was this race, wasn't it? You wanted to know about.
I was like, Dave, I need to know about the pace in the World Pool Handicap. He's like, why? It's like, because I've literally got a 40 to 1 each way.
And it's in this race, isn't it?
Hartswood.
Get it out of the way.
It's such a big price. Look, if I can get third, I'll be happy as Larry. Richard Fahey and Oshinor could just be a duo we're talking more about now. It's sort of ended with the lovely Paul Hannigan.
Betfair Sportsbook.
70 to
5
1.
places.
Oh, my word. Look, the reason Hartswood I have to give a mention is because a strong pace and a big field, and he's drawn well. So conditions do suit. I am actually with Tom, though, on Oh, This Is Us. Look, Dave, he was rated 101 when winning Epsom last season. It's down to 92.
He hardly had a race at Chepstow last weekend. It was seethe time, unless you had top 4 places.
He's a really funny horse, though, because he just turns up in a race at a massive price. Everyone's going, well, how on earth has he won that race? But this is like the lowest mark he's been running off since he was a 2-year-old, I think. I mean, he has really tumbled down the handicap.
And if you go back to that Haydock Boardman run, it shows that the fire is still in the belly.
It's still there. He's not running badly as such.
No, he's not. Absolutely not. And I love him, but I'm not sure. Let's get some socials up. Breezer goes. Let's go, Hartswood. He's agreeing with... I'm assuming you are Breezer. Or whoever Breezer is agreeing with Nat quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a big bet, isn't it? But
at the moment, you're leading the way on countbacks after one race for the Tipping Challenge Trophy.
Let's go for it. There's a case to be made
no
why
expense
how
spared in this studio.
Hartswood
£4 below his last winning mark as well. Hartswood off 90 here. Oh, This Is Us. I think beat Century Dream off level weights at this meeting last year. So
we've done a bit of homework of you, Hryhorskyj. I like it. You got a few drones for a minute.
That's
And actually did some back class. I know you are, Marc. You also mentioned fireworks. It turns out that Andy Sim is with you. Now, fireworks. I spoke to William Aggis recently, Lester Pickett's son-in-law, of course, not that long ago, and I should have picked him up on fireworks because he told us on his What a Shout debut last year that this was going to be a horse to follow. And he's got a 7 to 1 on win about him next to his name. I backed him that weekend when he bumped into Deerarb. If you remember him, was a decent horse. He ran in the French Guineas next time. Horses by that Newmarket form is really good, even though he's beaten in second. He won next time at 7's on. Even the 4th and the 9th, where he disappointed. He's probably the best handicapped horse in this race. No cheek pieces on. He's drawn in Soil 3, and no horse in the last 10 years has won on its seasonal debut. So I'm watching fireworks very closely today.
Yeah.
Definitely see it. I mean, I think he's going to favourite in all by one of his starts.
He and Oh, This Is Us, if you want to enjoy yourselves out there and you believe in Sod's Law, they're the two that will now be the straight forecast for me. Egg on face forecast, you get them, right?
Yeah, why not? I can see look, he's like a race 4-year-old from a major yard that can do no wrong. Tom Marquand's absolutely riding out of his skin. It's all those ice baths you keep having, I think. I'm going to buy one of those ice baths. Until I Googled them, they're really expensive. They're like...
a bit of late money for fireworks in the 10 to 1 now on the exchange. Oh, This Is Us is quite weak out to 12s, but Totally Charming, Carlos Magnus strengthen up. Can't really split them at 9 to 2, 5.5 the pair.
All right, thanks,
The late
Marc.
money for the fireworks.
Are they queuing up, Marc, for fireworks?
I wouldn't go that far.
Marc loves the queue of money.
On the drift originally, but a little nibble back for fireworks. Don't think they're going to let this one go off this too big.
We love having Marc on the show. Like I say, he is obsessed with the queue.
Yeah.
He likes it, and a lot of people watched him. I don't know, even if you don't bet on the exchange, you just go sportsbook or whatever, however you're getting on him, cash bet. Everyone checks the exchange, don't they, to make sure they're not going on a right drift. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
like
Marc loves the queue.
Anything that you're not necessarily invested in, you're just kind of interested to know
Absolutely.
what you're always
Yeah.
checking on Betfair to see.
It is cool. Like, this is what to showcase like Betfair.
There's a lot of late money for Hartswood here. That was 100s and a 32s here on the Betfair Exchange. So
which one?
I don't know, definitely queuing up for this one. Hartswood smashed it in the 32s.
It's the power of the exotic queen. Frizzy Red comes back on, one of our regulars. We love Frizzy Red coming in. XL Power looks progressive. He's a big price. Exactly why I'm with him, Frizzy, as the runners amble down to the famous start at Epsom. On a hat-trick, Holly Doyle, Archie Watson, drawn in 5. That's absolutely ideal. He's on a four-timer, of course, isn't he?
You could really be on 3 from 3 up to a mile. Scored comfortably at Windsor. I mean, there's plenty to like. Holly, a master judge of pace. And the one thing I say about XL Power is it just looks a very straightforward horse.
That's the point. This is perfect Holly, isn't it? Archie Watson could do with another one graduating in handicaps and going up. I wonder if this might be it. They're going in. Parky, what wins?
This is us. I'll give a quick shout out for Varian, who I'm surprised is so big.
Could make all.
Yeah, like he's one of these that's kind of running well this season and going up the handicap, but he might. I could definitely see him like grabbing a place with 5 places on offer.
And of course, from 15, if he gets out under Rob Hornby.
He's pretty consistent.
And Epsom is a prominent races track, isn't it? They
Consistent.
don't always make all. Generally,
we haven't seen him, have we, since the 13th of August 2021, so it's enough time.
He's got a really hard draw as well, 15.
We are T-minus 2 hours to the Epsom Oaks at 4:30. That'll be our final race here today. Just covering Epsom over the next 2 days. It's going to be great fun. Great to have you with us. Numbers are building. Keep the interaction coming. The panellists are loving it. They're in. Good luck in the 2:35. Let's go to Epsom and see who's going to take home this wonderful prize then. Hart's has been absolutely smashed and he's out okay, although gets a little bump. There's the Dodgems already on the inside. I can't remember exactly who that was that came out. I'll get back to you. It might have been Lorando, actually, I think, from 2 Lorado. But he's now in front. He gets the XL Power lathered with sweat. Not ideal, is it? But Hollydore keeping him in second. Looking down Boland Park for the Kublers, and Marc Hryhorskyj is up there. Varian, if they're leading him, basically, they're going a right old lick at the moment. Totally charming. Beautiful sit along with Hartswood.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to be where Varian is. He's caught a little bit wide going around the turn.
This is us very keen as well.
This is us very keen at the back.
Yeah,
that's not
Sean
ideal.
Levy taking over today from Andrea Arzini. They're going quick enough.
Fireworks has taken up a lovely position in.
They're turning in.
Field. I think he's the one. Although, I think he's the one at this moment who I'd kind of want to be on. He looks to be.
I don't know. It's
Fantastic Fox is there as well. Fireworks has got a nice sit. Will he have it? Revich, a horse who should be peaking first time up. Again, Coronas Magnus, if you're on the gamble there, usually a bit more there. What's it, Marc? Who's favourite?
Boland Park's going to get first run here.
3 going clear, including my XL Power. And interestingly, they're coming away from the rail. Now, this is Boland Park going to the inside. How's Hryhorskyj? Is he getting exciting? Here he goes. Come on, Marc. We could have a big one here. Will they fall in the hole? XL Power can't go. Nothing getting to the front runners at the moment. It's totally charming. Could this be it? William Buick on the double. He's hanging all over the place, but he's coming there. Revich not liking the camber. Trinidad trying his hardest. XL Power coming back, but this is away and gone. This is a really progressive horse. Lorado runs an absolute stormer. Revich might just get second. They're coming down the middle of the course. This is fascinating. Wow, this is taking it up. Marc of 91. Surely this will be going to the Hunt Cup next. Revich second. Looks like XL Power. 1 paced in third, giving the form a very strong look. Poor This Is Us didn't handle the quick run. Doesn't look like he's pulled up great. Let's hope he's all right. Marc Hryhorskyj, when did they know as he burst through horses?
It was quite similar to the first race. 2 out, William Buick loomed up. One we were on, Boland Park got first run, but wasn't good enough. Went out to around 9.8. Was the highest it went. Totally charming. I think Boland Park's run a good race. I think we've just managed to hold on for 5th there. That one's went as short as 3-1 and running. But distress signals were definitely out at the furlong pole.
Yeah. Okay. All right. A good shout at Boland Park, Marc, because that was a bit of a curveball, wasn't it? He's run a really, really good race. They've done a bit too much, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Not how I wanted the race to go.
A bit. We could. You're an editor, Parker. You would have deleted my bit from the copy there.
Yeah, they've gone too hard. But I mean, look, he's got a lovely position there on the rail as Buick, and he's just timed his runs to perfection.
It'd be great to be Will Buick at the moment. Of course, he's got Manobo coming up in the Coronation Cup, the Group 1 that is at 3:05 coming up. We're hearing that Sheikh Mohammed is back on a British racecourse as well, by the way. If you're back in the boys in blue, he will be primed for a big run. Could it be a hat-trick for Buick coming up? He's keen, isn't he, Nat? But he's full of himself.
It's a very clever ride because I think he knows that they're going to come straight up the middle because that's where he's just happy to sit there.
Because he's right on the rail, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not worried at all that he's going to get caught in a pocket there.
No, it's just class.
He's just taking the shortest way around. And
very well timed run. We're looking at it basically as they come off Tutton Corner, and he's on the inside now and he's switches. But he's got the room to do it, hasn't he? He's got the
room to do it, yeah. It's a very clever ride.
I mean, 3 furlongs out there, he was awesome.
Juicy. says, wow, that horse bullied his way to the front. Just great timing, Will Carey, the producer, because you're right. He gives Marc's Bowland Park a bit of a whack there. The Canberra, I'm not sure he's in love with the Canberra,
No,
actually.
but you're right. 2 furlongs out, that was a pretty narrow gap for a horse to go through and to go on the way he does. I mean, and look at his sort of tail carriage. He's sort of really elongated out. He's really giving it everything.
He's a big horse as well.
Big horse with a fabulous attitude because ears are back and he went through that gap no problem.
Yeah.
Revich ran well though.
Revich back at Chester. He hasn't won for a long time, but that's the sort of race that Revich, Jim Crowley, of course.
6-year-old,
big
that was good.
weekend again for Jim. It was a strange race because usually it gets really tight and you see some terrible hard luck stories that you then go back at Goodwood and beyond and all that sort of stuff, and these great handicaps, the narrative that goes throughout the season. But this was a weird race, wasn't it? Because they kind of stretched away and it meant that Totally Charming had loads of room to play with. Weird.
Yeah, this drone footage is great, isn't it, when you can see?
That's Marc Hryhorskyj currently flying this drone at the moment.
Side hustle. No, they're definitely going up the middle this afternoon. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Will Buick knows it. And that
not
was just,
quite stand side, Marc, but I don't know.
Does that make riding from store one a lot easier when you know that you can just sit? You can just sit in, wait to come round the turn, and then the gap is going to naturally open.
Very interesting theory.
When you look at this drone footage, look at the stride on Totally Charming. He's got a different stride to the rest. He eats up the ground. Huge, powerful rhythm to him. Massive. You see, you really see it from the top because you see the hind legs coming out.
The Hryhorskyj footage is great, isn't it? Because you really can. If anyone's not sure, it's because Marc used to have these 2 cans on his ear. He looked, as he was going, it looked like he was going over Gibraltar or something.
A heck of a paper stride on him.
That is a very, very nice horse. And George Bowie, look, last year the stats were absolutely off the charts, Tom, weren't they? Do you remember?
He's learnt well, hasn't he?
Oh, hasn't he learnt well? Of course. He absolutely has. And he's got his classic in the bag. He's doing it in handicaps. He does it with 2-year-olds. He's proving it was no flash in the pan whatsoever. We are talking about a proper breakthrough trainer here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And given the arsenal that he's got at his disposal at the moment, you can only see the big owners giving more horses to him, really.
I hope he sees that in a clip, Tom, because he'd love to say that. He'd love to hear you say that he's got an arsenal. That would be if I was a trainer, I want to have an arsenal of horses.
Nice way to
not the football team at all, but an absolute arsenal of trying horses behind me. Fireworks, I would take him out the race. Fantastic Fox for the variants. That was a big step back in the right direction.
That was pleasing, actually. I might add that to my notes. Because he was like around 4 lengths behind Excel Power at Haydock and reappearance since being gelded. And my notes say should come on from that race, and that has come on. Was no match for the winner, but that's a progressive step forward, isn't it?
Yeah, Andrea Zini staying on late again.
Fox.
Fireworks will take him out of it. There were some disappointments, weren't there?
This is us was very disappointing.
He stopped very quickly.
He just something probably. Yeah. I think he's found that one run. He's an old horse, isn't he? But we'll get you any H14s. The excuses out there. You can go onto. I often say you can go onto the BHA website out there. Why they ran badly. You can even Google that, and you can find out if something's run deplorably. Usually they have to give an excuse afterwards to the stewards. That's where
he lost his action. All this is, it looked like, but it could be that. Hopefully, it's nothing.
And the dream didn't come off with the massive 70-1 on Betfair with Hartswood. Never mind.
You basically caused the public gamble to go awry.
Sorry. So sorry, everyone.
Must do better.
DJ's going to be going, no.
Who was the closest there of us? Well, that's a good point. We have to get the guys in the studio to work that one out. I think it probably was Marc, wasn't it? He's gone from nearly zero to hero.
Fifth, by the way, or was it?
Were we in the places, Marc?
I think so.
I don't know, because I didn't want to say before.
It's a man that really knows.
I have a fear that it might have been 6th.
That was the.
I think it was 5th or 6th.
Horrible, wouldn't it?
It was definitely 5th or 6th, yeah. But
come on, we need the count back. All right, okay, we'll have our eyes on that. Welcome along if you're just joining us for 2 races down there on Racing Post Live. What a place to be! The industry paper that's got its own show, live reaction show. Watching the races, you're watching us react. We'll give you the anti-post markets, all that sort of stuff. Surely Hunt Cup, isn't it now, for Totally Charming? We'll get a quote from George in a minute.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
I'm delighted to say we're going to be able to go to Lee Mottishead, we think, soon as well.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Have you ever had a phone in before on one of these shows?
Yeah. I can't remember who it was.
It depends on the Wi-Fi at these tracks.
We did,
a lot said about the course Wi-Fis, by the way. This is Epsom's time
Didn't we
to
call
shine.
G-Rod? We did.
We called G-Rod on Tingle Creek Day, didn't we? Brilliant.
We did,
He was
I remember.
sober, which was remarkable.
Yeah, I remember we called G-Rod. That was great.
Yeah, we did. So, but that was great. We ought to call G-Rod whenever he's at a traction. He does go racing a lot at the moment, G-Rod, actually.
I want to know how he got on at Cartmel.
He went to Cartmel. Yes, he did. He went on Monday.
Yeah.
He will tell us tomorrow. Cartmel gets a lot of airtime on this show.
Yeah, it does.
Is he on the James Moffat multiple?
Oh man, the Charlotte James Moffat train has been steaming along up there, hasn't it? We think it's one of the best courses basically in the world, Cartmel. Let us know your favourite courses out there. Let us know your Derby memories and Oaks
We like
memories.
the food.
Well, oh yeah, you always mention the food. I do like the restaurant up there, but you think I'm obsessed with it, don't you?
No, I am as well.
All right,
Food
yeah,
is good,
Long
though.
Clume, of course.
Food's great.
I've got a quote, by the way, Legend of Xanadu, if anyone's interesting. 60s icon, of course, they're mentioning that. That's Mick Mick Shannon Jr., basically. Jack Shannon, sorry, his sister. We had a pretty tricky draw. We wanted to drop him in. When we got 4 deep coming into the bend, I thought he was in a lot of trouble. He looked very good. It's a very good performance. He's certainly going to get further. It's going to be the Chesham would be the obvious route. So interesting, the Pinatubo route. Hugo Palmer.
That is interesting, actually.
Isn't it? Yeah, so Woodcote all of a sudden becoming
2019.
I mean, you're going to be coming up against some serious horses in this year's Chesham.
Yeah.
We're going to talk. Let's talk about the 2-year-olds a little bit later on. I think the hills are alive with the sound of 2-year-olds at the moment. The 2-year-old world is sensational this year, I think.
We've had 2 or 3 good seasons of like really exciting.
This year,
2-year-olds.
everywhere you look. I looked up at a novice race at Ayr, and Richard Fahey's got like the best 2-year-old he's ever sent out. What was it called? That thing that won at Ayr the other night in the Perfect Power colours. Did you see it? My Lord.
I remember I have
Anyway,
seen it.
they're all out there going like this now. You should know this. Self-praise in the first. Hugo Palmer. My binoculars are broken, he says, because he got so far back. I was watching from the top of the grandstand, and I was watching the wrong horse. Time to go to Specsavers, says Hugo.
Yeah, that's funny.
I only lit him when he went and crossed the line, because if you don't know about that, Nat's tip in the first got miles out the back, fell out the telly, and then came on through. We're going to win races, says Hugo. Ross Orion. Third home, Tom's, Commander Straker. He jumped quick enough. All his form's been over 5. We'll be going back to that, they think. So don't give up on them. We'll give you all the quotes here coming, of course. Don't forget in your members section. If you're not a member yet, take advantage of the offers out there. This is the time to be alive with the Racing Post. Very much. You get everything. You get spotlights, you get the replays. I'll stop doing the QVC thing now, but if you haven't got it and you're watching this show, you really ought to have it if you're in the bet. Very importante. And around about 6 o'clock, you get all the tips from Keels. You get all the tips from Tom Seagal. Have you done any tipping recently, Parky? You used to do a bit of that, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, not so much in the Racing Post these days. I do stuff for the weeklies every now and then
when you need to step up.
When you're really desperate.
You're like Roy Keane going back to United, are you? You're kind of a bit like, dust off the kit.
I mean, I do bits and bobs. Just getting the time to do it, I suppose, would be more the issue.
What are the weeklies people will be saying out there at the moment? So Weekender, obviously.
The Weekender and the Racing and Football Outlook.
They're yours, aren't they?
Yes, they're my
They are. And Tom does the big jump off, of course, with Andrew Pennington as well, don't you, and all that sort of stuff. Did you do one for the flat as well? What
We haven't done one for the flat.
Have we got something coming up for Royal Ascot, haven't we? We've got to pull out for that coming up, haven't we?
We're not doing an ultimate.
There's a
guide
guide, though, isn't there? Has Nick Pulford done one?
Possibly. Oh, yeah, Nick Pulford will be doing a guide, yeah.
He's one of our wordsmiths.
Dave.
Yeah.
Ayr, Hryhorskyj, clear points.
Clear points.
Because people will want to know, because I want to then follow it.
Go and check that out
Yeah.
on your members club now.
It
All
was
those of you
very
lucky
good.
enough to have it, you can watch the replays.
Only
Of
took
course,
me 8
Clear
minutes to
point.
find it.
Could he do a perfect power and win back-to-back Royal Ascot 2-year-old races for Richard Fahey? Interestingly, Richard Fahey, who trained Hartswood, Chris Cook, our front-running Chris Cook, did a tweet yesterday. I saw it. It was he's had 6 winners in the past fortnight. 50% have been ridden by someone called Oshin.
Yeah, Oshin Orr.
Oshin McSweeney and Oshin Orr.
Yeah.
And he said, who knows what's happening next year? I mean, could Oshin, I don't know, could he be going up to the Great Five? Paul Hannigan's now left, hasn't he?
Yeah,
That was a story that kind of went under the radar a little bit, former champion jockey.
A couple of jockeys.
Massive
left there.
northern stable. Clear point.
A lot of horses.
The best 2-year-olds I've
There's
seen
a lot
this
of
season.
horses.
All right, where are we? Let's bring it back, shall we? If you're
Don't know what
just
time is
joining
it.
us, like and subscribe on YouTube. That's how you get into the chat, interact with us. Great interaction so far. The numbers look good. It's a bank holiday, isn't it? It's a platinum jubilee. I stupidly called it a diamond jubilee yesterday when I was doing What a Shout. Someone pulled up on that, literally after 30 seconds of it going out. Well done, producers.
We all make mistakes, Dave. It's all right.
I get mixed up with my jubilees a little bit.
It's incredible.
We're not going to have another jubilee for a long time, so we should
50 years?
rejoice in it, shouldn't we?
Would it be something 50?
Yeah.
50 years?
Street parties this weekend? Anyone?
I'm here.
Yeah, but what about Sunday? Isn't that the day for street parties, isn't it, Sunday? I think it is.
I don't know.
I
due
don't know,
to
Dave. I
rain
live
as
in a
well.
field. I've told you this so many times. There is no street. Just a bunch of cows. That's
Cheshire
so
cat that you are.
noisy, the cows
Right.
at home.
You could have, well, I don't know,
The
you could have-
pub around the corner that we were at last night, they're doing a big barbecue on Sunday, but I think it's going to rain all weekend. So
There's a
No, it's
recurring
not, is
theme
it?
with you, Parky. You did a great clip for us, didn't you? On was it your debut or was it the show after, where you said, "What's the best racing pub?"
Oh, yeah,
And it was
yeah.
one of the best clips we've done this year. And you've just mentioned pub again, Parky.
Yeah.
You've been on a stag do.
Yeah, our local pub's got all the lovely bunting out and Union Jacks everywhere, and it's walkable, so that's you don't have to drive.
Don't you think loads of stables will have bunting and things like that? Must do, mustn't they? Newmarket and even Cheshire.
Scare all the horses. Horses
Oh.
spook at flags like crazy.
Do they?
Yeah, horses hate
Yours would
flags.
freak out at that.
But then again, mine hate flags.
All right, okay, that's no good, is it? All right. But listen, what a great time and very, very, very good racing this afternoon. We're 2 down. We're watching George Bowie getting interviewed at the moment. Cool cucumber he's becoming. He's part of a sort of, I don't want to call it, I'm going to call it Rat Pack, not Prat Pack, but he's part of that young, up-and-coming James Ferguson,
Absolutely.
George Scott.
Absolutely.
They've all come through the ranks together, haven't they? They've all cut their teeth together, and they are the future. And it's exciting times, that's for sure. Talking of excitement, who's ready for the second coronation of the weekend? Because there he is on screen, 310, last year's winner, Pile Driver, who we called home in the Coronation Cup of 2021 last year when it was rain absolutely everywhere. I'm a little bit surprised, Marc Hryhorskyj. He's the SP he is at the moment. Oh, right. Sorry, I'm being told we're trying to ring Lee, are we? All right, I was going to go to the drone pilot. Perhaps he's having to get his drones back for the overhead footage, I'm not sure. Right, stand by for Lee. We shall fill. This is what we're good at, filling. You're particularly good at it, Parky. Talk about pubs if you want.
Cake filling, icing.
Are we all, inverted commas, piling on?
I'm not.
We're piling on the driver.
So there is a little bit of...
I'm against the driver.
There's a bit of
I
balance.
love pile driver, so I can't. I hope that if mine doesn't win, but I'm using my head over.
He was the
heart here.
fans' favourite.
He was this week, yeah. He's a legend of ours.
Who did it?
Maddie.
Of course.
Yeah, she went down to see him, I think.
Yeah, well, I was lucky enough to beam down to Wantage yesterday and speak to Willie Muir as well. Look, you can always say he's one of the good guys, and I'm a bit careful of saying that because they're all good guys, really.
Of course they are.
But Willie in particular, you
He's
get a bit of a
proper
buzz.
gent.
It's just a nice thing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk to
yeah.
Willie Muir about his horses.
Yeah, and like Rob said, it's
And Chris Grassick, of course.
Yeah, it's a horse, that wasn't sold for 10th. It's just been that amazing story. But I don't think we talk about Dubai enough because he did so well to even get 4th. He was absolutely just stuck in a pocket. He was locked in a pocket. He was stuck on the inner. Could you sort of say, well, I'm sure Frankie wished he'd come out sooner. Let's just be completely honest. He's one of the best jockeys in the world of all time. I don't think he's going to hate me for saying he probably won't do that again. Because I want Frankie to keep kissing me. He gave me a kiss at Haydock on
Did he
Saturday.
really?
Yeah, he always
There
gives
you
me a
go. Your
kiss.
stock is going
He
up.
always gives me a kiss. So I'm not slagging off Frankie Dettori at all. But I just don't think it was still a cracking run, though, to get 4th when he was just locked in a pocket.
He's got a much smaller field here. It was a much smaller field, of course, when he won in 2021. Like I say, the rain was down. Was it Al Arzi? Everyone was expected to come over the top, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
He
And it
basically
came
broke Al Arzi that day.
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah.
Al Arzi
Surely
never recovered.
this is going to be great, a smaller field, because Pile Driver, you've got to keep him there, haven't you?
Any
keep
ground,
that rhythm,
no problems.
keep him forward, keep him going.
50 to 1
enthusiastic.
debut win on Firm. You remember that going description that we used to have? Firm. I spoke to Willie a bit about that yesterday. That was interesting. Who watched that feature yesterday? Really good interview. He basically said, my dad's a farmer, and I think we've raced too much on these tracks. He said, I don't just think it's about the slippy ground and the overwatering. David Manuzio in the week came out and went, this is BS about the overwatering. We've been doing it for decades in France. It's absolutely fine. I mean,
We're not in France.
Sometimes the French going is a little bit insane, but we see the
It's
point.
like
Is there
the
something
Irish
more at play
yielding.
here?
He's rock solid. Like he's definitely in the 2 pile driver. The one that I'm going with in this is Hookham.
With Keels.
Yeah, brother to Baid as well, which is
Weird, isn't it?
it's weird that he's like winning over 1 mile 6 and Baid's like an absolute speedball or miler.
Smiler.
But beside the point, Hookham is a very, very good horse in his own right. That Ascot run last year I thought was really, really top draw. Pile Driver is. You could argue that he's been underrated for his whole career, but I just sense that he's obviously a Group 1 winner. You can't knock him that much, but is he he's an average Group 1 winner, and that would be fair to say. And
Tom looking at it with head over
I don't think there's a
heart
lot
here.
between them, but I mean, and Hookham's been well backed. He was 5 to 1 earlier today, which is more of a price there. And I think it's out of them two. Not really sure. Manobo. I don't
Was
know.
a bit further, didn't he, Manobo?
Yeah,
They tried to make him into a couple.
I
without
just
question.
don't know
Yeah,
if
but then he
he's
was
good.
so keen over 2 miles, wasn't he, in Maidan? But there's plenty of boot about him. That I think the dropbacks are positive, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Same with High Definition. I mean, that was a much better run last time. But
It's hardly reliable.
yeah, and like if there's a horse that you're not going to trust to back a run up like that, it's him. He's one of the most untrustworthy horses there is. Living legend. He's a big old price.
Robbie Wilder's put him up yesterday when I was with him on a feature show, the Anti-Postman.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could see him outrunning his odds because I think there's a couple towards the head of the market that there's question marks over. And I don't think this is very strong for a Group 1, which is why I'm siding with Hookham. Couldn't put anyone off Pile Driver. You're getting a bigger price on
They're
Hookham.
closely matched on the St Leger form, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think Hookham has definitely improved. He's definitely a better horse now. You can forgive his Maidan run last time. I know he finished 7th, but he wasn't beaten an awful long way. Yeah, I think he's very good. Like, I don't think this is a very strong Group 1, so I'm going to stick with Hookham.
Well, okay, let's do
You're
this.
probably shocked, aren't you? I'm not with Hookham because remember when he won the Cumberland Lodge for me? I've put him up a couple of times. Remember?
Obviously
on RP
successfully.
Live. But do you know what I've done today on Good Morning Epsom? You won't believe this. Do you know what I actually said? I said, I think High Definition's sticking out like a sore thumb. As in a positive way. I've lost the plot today, haven't I?
He's
Yeah.
Drifted right out. I mean, he was a
just
lot shorter.
I know he's not trustworthy, but I just...
He nearly won a Tats Gold Cup, and everyone was like, all of a sudden, they finally nearly got there. I mean, he has been what a talking horse he was as a 3-year-old.
But that
2
form
into
isn't
3.
He's very
that
weak
good, is it?
on the Betfair Exchange right now. He's 8.8 on the Betfair Exchange. Yeah, I got cut off before then, so I just got done for a neck on Bowling Park, so we're out of the place and then I got cut off. So
gutted for
there'll be
you.
no trophy for us, you know. But I'm not so sure about how the makeup
going
of this. Listen, there's still a couple of races left. Don't underestimate
Exactly,
them.
we're not even at the halfway stage. Quite right.
I'm not
Let's
sure
do
about this race.
let's
Dave,
concentrate
the makeup of this race.
on your tip then, Mark, in a second, because Hookham it is for you then, Tom. As we saw our social interaction going as well, Genghis is with you all the way. Hookham, he's just reliable, isn't he? I get it.
He is reliable, and there's some that aren't reliable here.
Yeah,
I mean.
all right, okay. And before we go down the roll honours of horses that have won this race, some absolute greats, as we see Barry Orr being interviewed in the paddock.
Oh,
Who's
poor
letting
Barry's
that-
been on so much today. He must be exhausted.
Oh, well, no. He's saving his reserves for tomorrow. Don't you worry about that. G-Rod and Barry tomorrow, the head-to-heads that we've got planned are going to be absolutely fantastic. There's Tom's tip then. Mark, where are you going here? Come on, are you piling on the driver?
Yeah, I need to get something off here. But just on the Royal Hunt Cup that you were talking about before, totally charming. We were 12-1 with any postmarker for that one. It was impressive there. On to the Coronation Cup. I'm with Pile Driver here. I'm not so sure why Manubo is so short, around 3.35 on the Betfair Exchange. Pile Driver's 5-2. Only course winner in the field. Won the race last year. I think it's massive. Frankie on board. Manubo, I mean, was an eye catcher at Maidan. Absolutely cruised through, but found trouble, turned over 4-9. The step back and trip would be a concern for me. It's not too far on stepping back 6 here. I thought this probably were an Ascot Gold Cup horse. I'm not sure why they're stepping back and trip here. High Definition of Aidan O'Brien's nothing but consistent. Stepping back to mile 4, mile 2. That was a good race at the Curragh last time behind Alkin, or cracking price. I think High Definition's a massive price in 9.2, but I'm going to go with Pile Driver just for the straight win here, Tom. So if you can do the honours, so this is a £50 on the nose here. He's just went favourite there. Yeah, now we'll do the exchange.
Yeah.
We'll showcase the exchange here. He's just went favourite there, 3.35. Can I have 50 on the nose, please?
50 on the nose,
Going for
3.3.
glory then with Pile Driver as Marc Hryhorskyj, the drone pilot from Betfair, singing for Barry Orr today. I'm just seeing the ball big here. I just think Pile Driver just wins.
Yeah, I'm not going to change from this morning. I'm not. I also absolutely Pile Driver, but I'm going to say High Definition's going to be there or thereabouts. I'm just going to go for it because these untrustworthy types, I really, really like. Curry is his favourite track. We all know that. I've got to be brave. I've already said it, so I'm going to stick to it. I'm not going to back out now. But that was just a brilliant performance from Alan Kerr, wasn't it, for the banging form Haggis team. And Aidan O'Brien, Ryan Moore, he doesn't, I'm not trying to say he's a consistent horse, I'm trying to say he's not. But if he can repeat any of that form, and if he is in good form, they've got him bang on, then I think he's over. Yeah, I think he's still a good price. Got to look at a bit of value because I'm all over pile driver, and I totally agree with everyone else. I don't get the money for Manobo as much. I get why they're dropping him in trip because he was absolutely too keen on 2 miles. So what do you do then? So you need to drop him in trip.
There was a bit of a hoo-ha about this, Parky, wasn't there, a couple of weeks back? The fact that Adayar was the anti-post favourite and he drifted right out on the exchanges. Manobo goes the complete other way, went to as short as basically the price he's in at the moment. And then obviously Adayar comes out, doesn't he? So I think it was Sam Hendry that did a piece who was saying probably not ideal that we're still seeing that in this day and age.
Yeah, we see it a lot, don't we?
Communication error, we'll put it down to, shall we? But this was quickly their pick for this race. Shape Mo is on track this afternoon, and they've got to have a runner in the race, haven't they? Should we see who they've won it with in the past couple of years? Charlie Appleby has had 5 runners in this race since he took up the reins there, and he won it with Gayeth, of course, in 2020. And the rest of them have 2 places. So I'm trying to remember who they were. Defoe won it in 2019.
St Nicholas Abbey.
Now we're talking about some serious horses. So Pile Driver could become St Nicholas Abbey here.
3-time winner.
The last
Fame and Glory.
Dual winner of the race. Cirrus de Zagel, postponed. Highland Reel. Oh, Highland
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And
Cracksman as well. Who had, he had his winner the other day, Cracksman, didn't he? He's starting to come into the sire ranks now, isn't he? Starting to see the fruit of his loins. I'll tell you what, Pike, you've done very well with the cough.
I've got a big... I need to just get a big cough out at some point, so I'm like...
Producers, be aware of Parky's mic is about to break.
Yeah.
Is Hookham Al-Azi 2.0? Oh, Tom Barras, that. Thankfully, I can answer that one. Perhaps while Parky has a big old cough. And no, he's not. This guy, you know if he gets into a battle, right, he's going to stick his head down and go out on the shield.
Yeah, I mean, Al-Azi is...
They gelded him afterwards, didn't they?
Yeah, they did as well.
Yeah.
I thought he was a really talented horse. I wasn't too disheartened.
Well, I think he is, but he's just...
He's too...
He needed to be gelded. But it must be... It must play on the mind. A horse so talented... Gelding.
This was the start of his decline, shall we say, last year.
Yeah, I mean, he'd done it before, but it was... Yeah, he's a little bit of a rascal.
He won the Aston Park Stakes, didn't he? I think we talked to Haggis just before that, and he had a twinkle in his eye. And Jim tried... It was a funny race last year.
I love the horse, by the way.
What, Al-Azi?
I love ones that are...
Talented road. Well, you should be going for high definition then, shouldn't you?
Yeah, but no, Hookham's great. Hookham's got a great attitude. Hookham really tries.
Yeah. And like I say, if you like Pile Driver, don't forget there wasn't a great deal between them in the St Ledger, which Pile Driver saw out. Martin Dwyer, of course, will be looking on from the sidelines. That's why Frankie's on, of course. Martin, unfortunately, got a miss. I don't know if the season or the entire year.
Yeah, he was on.
He's picked up one of the veterans
TV
of the way. Yeah, well, he's
Dave, one that we've not mentioned is Mark Johnson's Living Legend game display. Last time out, likely Pacey there could be the perfect back to lay for Betfair Exchange players here.
Yeah.
Put away two hype horses for me last time, Tyrone and C. Roger Varians at Newcastle and Yabar at Newmarket. So likely pace leader. If Joe gets the fractions in front, could he nick it from the front, come up the middle?
Well, there has been some social interaction I've seen out there on community saying that could be the way. There is, for 6 runners, quite a bit of pace on it. Have you seen that?
Living Legend
maps have blown your mind.
is genuinely a living legend. He had like 841 days off. Barbara and Alec are the owners. They are possibly the nicest, most passionate owners one could ever imagine. And Simon Mapletofft was going on about...
Nicer than the Hamiltons.
No, don't be... No, they're all lovely, but they are just such great owners. And Simon Mapletofft was going on about Living Legend when I was on All Weather Finals Day, and it was such a great performance. I remember interviewing them. They've been so patient with this horse, and Marc sort of gives them a lot of credit, the owners, for how long they've had to wait. But my goodness, it's all come together. 2021, he was sort of some good efforts, but 2022, he's 3 consecutive wins. But that performance last time at Newmarket, the Group 2...
If your beer was in this race running first time out, he'd be favourite, I'd imagine.
I think he probably would, but
so
it depends how you view that race. Yeah. Of course, Living Legend caused an article, didn't he, because of your beer being big.
He wants to go forward, Living Legend.
Yeah. Well, Pallavicino, front runner. Manobo, you have to assume he'd be up there. High definition if you go on the last run.
He'd have to be on his last run. I mean,
sure.
They seem to found... I mean, if they were
Could that be the key to him?
I think they'll want to be out in front with high
He's
definition.
back up, of course, high for definition, but these horses that they thought he could win everything at one point, didn't they? This is a proper I told you so moment, isn't it, for Aidan and the team, if he gets his Group 1 there. All right. 6 runners. It's fascinating. Let's keep the socials going in, but we are sort of on post time actually today at Epsom at the moment. Loads of you out there at the moment telling us everything. This is Pile Driver, Frankie's second ride on him. Met a bit of trouble. The Rocky Balboa, I called him to Willie Muir yesterday. Basically, I said to William, you got nutted in all these Group 1s, you know, Averti and Nunthorpe's and Stepper Point in Abbeys and things like that. And all you have to do is get Chris Grassick join you, and you get your Group 1. Great story this with the owners as well, isn't it? This will be we'll be waiting on the keyboards if he's got his coronation in the Coronation Cup again coming up, because the owners couldn't watch him win his King Edward VII Stakes as a 3-year-old. COVID hit, basically. Then they had this grand plan after he won this race last year. Injury struck him, of course. They had to be patient with him. They couldn't go King George. They couldn't go to the Arc, which will be the plan. If it whatever happens, I imagine, please Lord, he comes and stays sound this season. So it's a great...
10,000 guineas he cost.
Exactly.
Like, the owners must have turned down some massive...
They did. They had
for him,
whopping offers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't. I think they're not shy
Proper
if you could,
fairy tale
obviously.
story,
But,
isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's a great story. And Chris Cook's front runner email, I don't know if whoever gets that in their email box every morning, it's essential reading basically from Chris Cook. And he did a piece with the owners this week, and they said our first sniff of a spotlight was when a horse pulled up in the Fred Winter in 2013. So thankfully, thanks to the prize money, over $1 million Pile Driver has won. He is just an amazing horse. He will always be the underdog. And Marc, even in the market now, what should be the outright fav isn't.
Pile Driver 3.15. They're definitely queuing up to back this one, as we like
so
to
he
say.
is.
But I think it's the right favourite now, 3.15. That's the way I'd price up. When all goes out to 3.55, around 5-2. High definition, not really moved, around 9.2, around 8-1. Hookham, Tom's runner, 4.2, so just around 3-1. But an interesting one. But I think they've got the right favour here with Frankie and Pile Driver.
Absolutely. I'd make him a 6-4 shot here, I've got to be honest. I'm
Bullish.
shorter than that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, Marc. Absolutely.
Yes. No,
I
it's
like it
so
better.
hard.
All of a sudden, a
Come on,
couple of
Pile
drones
Driver,
in the
make my
sky
day.
started going like that because Marc took his after ball.
As soon as
Make
you
my
said that,
day.
he's on the drift.
Well, that's a Barryism.
Surely most people's hearts would want Pile Driver to be. He was unsold at 10 grand. Pile Driver. That's like the story. Couldn't even sell him for 10 grand.
And do you remember when we covered him on the all-weather on his return?
Yeah.
It was over a mile 2. The money came from him, but we were like, look, this will be a prep for Hong Kong. That
Yeah.
was when I really loved the horse.
Because we've been
mile 2
naughty,
around
we've been
Lincoln shouldn't be
guilty
for him, should it?
we've been guilty of being really critical of him, haven't we? Like, oh, you know, back in the day, was it like a one-off? Is it a fluke? And time again,
He's underrated every time. He's underrated here, as you said.
Yeah.
2-1 is a big price.
It's funny, isn't it?
I've just got I think I've got a soft spot for Hookham. Otherwise, I'd probably be backing him myself.
Well, lots of people have, absolutely.
I do,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, very much.
You know, the
so.
one that none of us fancy. Can't understand
It's a bit of late
the
money for him
prices
here,
is
Tom.
Manobo. So.
He's into 11-4 now.
Yeah, there's
Hookham,
been
but
a lot
late
of money. I think it was 5-1. I think I backed him at this morning.
I mean,
so.
Burrows, again, it just doesn't have a lot of runners. I mean, has he ever had a lot of runners, I suppose? Obviously, Shalbol have streamlined their operation. I suppose Owen was going to see the back of that. But he has a lot of fancied runners, doesn't he? Or he's never has, like, you know, horses that are unconsidered in the betting. Would we consider Owen a target trainer? I suppose we probably would, wouldn't we? But they're in form. Look, he had a 3-on shot beaten at Chepstow, but probably the horse that beat it was all right. And the horse that ran at Bath at the time before, his only other runner I can find in the last fortnight, that ran to an RPR of 96, so no problems there whatsoever. I would just have good old Pile Driver shorter, and this is the moment I've been waiting for today, I have to admit. But we're about an hour and a half away from the Epsom Oaks. Keep your selections coming. I can see them building up. The guys in the studio will get them through. We'll build up to the Oaks at 4 o'clock after... What is the next race coming up? Remind myself, it's the 3:40. We've got loads of time, haven't we? Of course. Here
Cazoo
comes some
handicap.
socials. All right, Marc Palmer. Oh, here we go. Entrance from the Appleby Barn. Are you American, Marc? Won British, French and Irish guineas. The question as to why Manobo is so short is irrelevant. He wins for fun. Marc, again...
We need to stop this.
Great
bullish
social,
track,
that Marc, by the way.
drifting, he's on the drift. The more you big him up, the more he drifts here.
Who's that?
But,
What, Manobo?
Pile Driver. But all the late money's for a Hookham here, into around 11-4. Probably going to go second favourite here.
That's interesting that Manobo's drifting out a little bit,
Hookham's
isn't it?
quite...
Good social, that Marc, by the way. Love that.
He's quite good to look at. He's a right, strong, powerful sort of horse. So you can see if people are like looking at the horse in pictures, why you'd... He's quite a unit, Hookham. He's quite...
Does he look anything like... I've not seen them both in the flesh, but does he look anything like Baid?
He's a unit.
Yeah.
It's a big, strong horse, and Baid's obviously enormous. What was the same weight as Hurricane Lane? It's absolutely insane. They're big, powerful horses. So, yeah, he's a big lad. He's quite impressive to look at. Yeah.
And they are down at the very famous first of 3 races over a mile 4 coming your way.
You can just see Hookham there. He's a powerful horse.
He's a beautiful looking horse, isn't he? We're watching him down there. There's Pile Driver, and there's Manobo. Just looking to see if anything's a bit sweaty. Of course, XL Power that ran well in the previous race, perhaps did a bit too much too soon. He was lathered in sweat. That getting down to the start of this mile 4 is the tricky bit. That's where the horsemanship really comes, isn't it? So Pallavicino, just the rank outsider.
Can't see
Not
that
to find,
well,
but he
though,
will
can we?
lead, we think.
Oh, is it just my eyes, Dave?
We're all sort of peering down. You can tell the tension is here in the studio. You're feeling it out there as well. Here on RP Live. It's Group 1 time. It is the Coronation Cup. Oh, come on, Pile Driver. Let's go to Marc. Yeah, here's Marc. Marc, come on. I keep saying Pile Driver. You keep... Look at the smile on his face. Every time I see Pile Driver, he goes out. You're loving it, Marc, aren't you?
It will be much more camera when we see 101 on the exchange, put it that way. But he's strengthening up. He's just went 2-1 there on the Betfair Exchange. Living Legends notably weak. It was around 17s and at 25s. A high definition hasn't really moved. We're at 9.2. But they're backing up to Q Frankie Dettori and Pile Driver here.
Yes, a friend of mine is at the track today, Paul Holden. He often messages into the show, and he's actually just... I managed to sneak a look at my phone because I can hear it buzzing. It's him trying to... He keeps sending me pictures of Frankie walking the track looking very, very serious before this race. Will they come up the middle? That's what we're expecting to do. No hard luck stories. It was a little bit tight, the race last year. Do you remember? Al-Azi came at Pile Drive, and he kept finding on the rail. I can't remember if there was the stewards, but they got very close. They're going to come middle again, aren't they? It's just Al-Azi, yeah.
I mean, no one runs quite like him.
I feel nervous for this race. Living Legends, I don't know, I just do. Living Legends a big prize. I mean, people will probably argue is it, a Group 1 horse, but it'd be nice for Living Legend to run a decent race and just outrun that price a little bit.
We're about to find out, Nat. They are in. It's Coronation time. Good luck, and off we go. One's walked out his stalls. What was it? And it was Living Legend.
That's not good.
Not expecting that. He got a bit sweaty before and didn't know that was in his run style. They're not really hanging around either because Manobo, horse that's back down in trip, bit of sweat on him. He's just leading Pile Driver at the moment. If you remember when Martin Dwyer won the race last year, they were up there throughout. They're going to try and repeat the feat. Straightforward. Pile Driver. Tracking them is high definition. A horse that went to the front last time in the Tats Gold Cup over a mile 2. Thankfully, Living Legend is caught up, but is he doing a bit too much too soon? I'm amazed that Pallavicino is not near the front. He's the back marker at the moment, just preceded by Hookham, also full of himself. It looks like Hookham is going to try and make all. He just cuts off William Buick there. I've imagined a few words there. Frankie from the front, Marc Hryhorskyj. Now he must be nearly 64.
He's 2.66 in running here. A bit of bustling early on here. Who's wanting to take the lead? Jim Crowley just went up beside Frankie there on Hookham. But Living Legend was 26 BSP. That's out to 50, so obviously that missed the kick. But Frankie Dettori in front, where we want to be here, 6-4 in running.
Frankie from the front.
Manobo has to settle down.
Yeah, William Buick is not going to be happy, I think, afterwards, because Frankie definitely ensured that he didn't get a good run there. Ryan Moore, Parky got the sit at the moment, but Frankie from the front.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit worried if I was high definition, just because that was his best run last time. They were a bit more prominent, but Ryan Moore doesn't seem overly bothered that he's there, and he is going to get the gap.
The anchor is down.
I
in
reckon
front.
I'm getting the 1-2.
This is going to turn into a bit of a dash for home, guys. And Jim Crowley, like last year, of course, Jim touched off by Pile Driver. He knows you've got to have one crack at him and don't miss the target if you're going to win.
Manobo here. Manobo, but the stress signal's out.
Manobo's starting to row along then. Pallavicino, the outsider, feeling the heat. Living Legend probably gone as well. Pile Driver then, they're turning in. The crowd will be going mental. Hookham and Pile Driver, the two old rivals going for it. Is Hookham the quicker horse? Frankie gets caught out a little bit. They're coming near the stand side. Come on, Pile Driver, what have you got?
Come on, high definition!
On the inside. I tell you what, Manobo, absolutely paceless. High definition, not fighting. Come on, Pile Driver, off you go. Jim Crowley knows he's going to have one going. Now he takes over. Pile Driver tries to respond. High definition on the inside. What a race we have. It's near stand side.
Come on, Frankie.
He's going to get his in the sun. Hookham sprints clear. Pile Driver cannot respond. High definition's going to nick second off him. What a season this could be for Hookham. Pile Driver just getting back up for second. Wow, great ride, Jim Crowley. Gets his 2021 revenge. Pile Driver did his best in second. High definition third, not to be for Manobo. never really going, Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, I think it was a top ride from Jim Crowley aboard Hookham. That mid-race move just to sit beside Frankie was absolutely tanking free out. Was travelling a lot better. The stress signals were out for Frankie and Hookham. Jim Crowley's let him go and he's went well clear. Pile driver, no excuses for me. Was every chance. That one's went as low. 2.12. Don't think he ever looked like winning, to be honest with you. The stress signals were out quite early. Minobo coming around the best bend. The stress signals were out. High definition ran on well. To take third there, but Hookham definitely the winner there. Absolutely hacked up on the Jim Crowley. BSP 3.9.
Well, okay, so we drifted out a little bit. Well done, Tom. All of a sudden,
Very well done.
your trophy that you've never won before is getting closer to you.
Yeah, I can.
It can get closer
feel
and then
it,
be
yeah,
taken
yeah.
away. All right, we've got 2 races to go. But Tom races into the lead for the Friday RP Live trophy. Tipping trophy that we're going for. Well done, mate. Again, you've got to be happy with that. I mean, you didn't think he'd win like that, did you?
No, I was a little bit nervous. He was tanking, but he didn't seem to overly handle the camber. He just looked a little bit unbalanced. And then it wasn't until that it levelled out a little bit that he kind of really got into turbo mode. Yeah, it was a good performance. Well, very good performance. I mean, it won pretty easily. I can't really see what. I wonder where you'd go next. Royal Ascot?
Yeah, we'll absolutely do that. I wonder whether they might be tempted to go for the King George as well on the back of that. At the moment, I mean, it could all change, of course, after tomorrow and maybe even after the 4:30 this afternoon.
High definition ran a big race. I mean, you can on that form. I feel like there's probably races to be won with him, which at the start of the season I'd have said.
Yeah, I wanted to
send him to Joseph.
Obviously, I'm going to say I'm pleased, but I am actually really pleased. But Hookham is by far just the best horse on the day in this race. On the day in this race, he's a unit. He's strong. He's powerful. I actually think he looks perfectly fine on this track. Look how he just digs in. His attitude is phenomenal, and he's won that far easier.
He's a proper pro. He's won
that brilliantly.
And those that are asking, is he the new Al Arzi? Well, his brother, of course, is Baid. He now shares Group 1 honours with his sibling.
If you watch here, it's just he looks like I'm thinking,
we're about
right,
2.5 out, aren't we?
He just is just there. I'm thinking, is he gonna?
Yes.
Is he gonna go? But,
I got excited thinking Pile Driver might just break him a bit.
Yeah, and then High Definition came into the equation here. I was thinking, and now it just levels up a little bit. He just finds.
Yeah.
But
he has that
gear,
big, wide chest, is what I mean when I say he's a unit. He's a big lad. He's powerful and his engine.
And they don't want to know the inside of that home straight, do they, at all?
Once he's been given a tap there, he's really lengthened away.
Yes.
That was a proper performance.
It was. And look, he's a 5-year-old now. He's an Entai. He's going to be one of the next, you imagine, conveyor belt sires for Shadwell. The ride should be lauded here because Jim Crowley last year on Al Arzi came to beat Pile Driver when they hugged the inside rail on soft ground, and he got done by him, didn't he? Jim wanted to have a go, but he said count probably in his head. He waited, and then he probably knows Pile Driver better than anyone out there after that defeat. And they've raced against each other now 4 times, I think, because, of course, last time out it was Maidan, didn't really go Hookham's way. And Pile Driver's well ahead of him, went a little bit unlucky, but he just has done him for a turn of foot, hasn't he?
Absolutely. I'm pleased. I'm really pleased. Pile Driver got second and didn't end up going back in the field. You know what I mean?
He's run a brave race.
I think Pile Driver's ran his race there. I think the winner, that was a really good performance. I mean, this is a horse who has won over further as well. I mean, you talk about his turn of foot, but he stays really well.
He does.
Let's talk about that because, OK, this is Group 1. We should do this. We've got plenty of time, of course, for the next race, which is a 3:45, isn't it, coming up, back into Handicap Company Go. 1:16 he went into the race rated. Pile Driver 1:20. If you think the High Definition has run his race as well, 1:19, the handicapper is going to have to go a bit sexy with Hookham now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, in theory, yeah.
If you believe he's run the race.
I think, well, I mean, I don't see how you can say anything.
They'll probably all be in a
really. I mean,
at the moment,
they finished where their rating suggested they would. The ones behind, anyway.
We're watching Marc Hryhorskyj's footage at the moment, the drone out there.
Brilliant. I mean,
There's
he
a
couldn't have won any.
beautiful thing in sight, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. Marc, I have to say this trophy will not be coming to Hammersmith unless you absolutely knock out the next 2 races.
Two to go, big prices.
I can tell you're a bit gutted.
No, I've got 2 to go. We're still in it. I think High Definition is an interest one. Maybe go down the Ledger route further down the line. Still run a good race.
Iris St Ledger? Yeah, possibly. The race that shouldn't really be a Group 1, but well, maybe that will be the one for him. He's just one of those, isn't he, Tom? He's again a little bit. he probably will suck some more people in on that. It'd be interesting to see the quotes from getting them to you.
Irish St Ledger, definitely got an entry.
Yeah.
Hardwick.
Yeah, so Mark,
Already
if you
there
don't
mind,
I will get some Royal Ascot quotes off you, and maybe King George and all that sort of thing from Hryhorskyj as they come in. It's probably going to be Hardwick next, or do you think it comes a bit quick,
Well, his
Thomas?
entry, yeah.
Depends if they've really, if they, on the back of that performance, I'd be looking at the King George and maybe just skipping Royal Ascot.
He was third in it last year, of course, behind Wonderful Tonight.
Yeah, so I'd maybe skip Royal Ascot. I think this horse has improved big time. It started after Royal Ascot last year, that level of improvement. As we talked about earlier, that run at Ascot towards the end of last season was properly good, and as I said, he wasn't beaten all that far last time at Meydan, but you can forgive a horse running down the field at Meydan.
They've got other entries in the Hardwick as well. Mostardaf, we imagine, will have another go at Baybridge in the Prince of Wales. Ashada, who is a horse that we think we'll see better of wherever she goes. Course,
I wonder where Hryhorskyj will go. I mean, they'll
well,
probably
he's the icing on your cake here. So it could well be Hryhorskyj. He's back obviously after that win, isn't he? But
such a lovely looking horse,
I'd be
Hookham, beautiful looking
horse.
That was a good performance.
Thoroughbred.
Yeah. So we're guessing the RPRs there. It's going to be over 120, isn't it, without question?
Yeah, you would think.
It's a clear career best for Hookham.
Yeah, I
just think the ride had a lot to do with it.
It was a
so
good ride.
well
You need the horse to.
He kind of insured
win
Frankie. When Frankie gets to the front, what he does is he puts on the anchor, right, and then he goes, right, okay, catch me if you can, and goes. It's classic, it's that American clock in his head, and he does it. He's brilliant. Richard Hughes used to do it all the time. Jamie Spencer, we talk about him when he gets, all these closing jockeys that we think of, when they get to the front, they're having an easy lead.
You'd have won on Hookham
immediately
there,
moved up from second last to second. And he ensured that Frankie knew exactly where he was.
Brilliant.
I just think tactically, look, I know it's
brilliant.
6 runners and he's won easily in the end.
I think that was an easy ride.
It's a very, very well-timed ride for me because the pile driver is not... Again, he's like Rocky Balboa. If you hit him, you've got to make sure you don't miss. And he didn't miss there. Honestly, I think there was... If you watch it back, and I might be wrong, I think quite a bit to do with that ride.
You're the analyst, Dave.
We're all in the huddle. You're
them
not sure about this, are you?
I like to see winning connections, trainer, owner, whoever it is, clear in the shot without any other humans apart from the crowd behind. That's just personal.
Like when you're talking to people for ITV, basically, and we've got...
It just all gets a bit, and then you can see the person interviewing get a little bit uncomfortable.
And
if you just give
actually,
them a bit
our
of
editors
space,
agree with you.
if you just give people a bit of space, they'll actually talk more freely than
In fairness, the
crowding
DJ's
them.
now moved out slightly. You can't see him.
I know.
But Owen Burrows, I think that's the first Group 1 for Owen. What do you reckon? It probably is, isn't it? This is the horse that would have given it to him if he was going to get it. I'd suggest that probably is.
It is
I
his
might be wrong.
best. It is his best.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. We're hearing it is, says Will, as well. Well
Thanks,
done if
Will.
you back the winner, says Frizzy Red.
He had a 2-year-old the other year, but Minzar, that didn't win a Group 1. It was lucky in the middle park.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I remember you fancied him for that. Or after that, didn't you? Or something like that, yeah. Look, great to see this, because, of course, memories of the late Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, of course, and Hissa, his daughter, who's kind of leading the way at the moment, keeping the fire burning there. Great to see. And this is the sort of thing that will keep it going for us all out there as well. So a good story there. And Pile Driver goes out on his shield. High definition in third. That was one of 2 Group 1s coming your way, out the way. There's the final Betfair SP there. And you can see 11-4 Hookham beats Pile Driver 2-1. And High Definition in third. Right, we must move on. 3:45 coming up. Keep the social interaction coming. We've got around about 20 minutes to go. Loads of people in the chat today. Really going for it. This is one of those days, isn't it, where you've got to just...
In a good way, Dave.
In a good way. In a good way.
I love it when Dave brings up the chat. I'm always like, eh.
What are they saying about me? Oh, someone says, why didn't Ryan Moore even try for second? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Bit harsh.
I don't think you can really...
Bit harsh, Evacati. We'll name you. Yeah, and Ryan, unfortunately, gets more stick than any other jockey in the universe.
Only because I think as well, because he's relatively quiet in the media, kind of people don't know him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
These jockeys who are on the best horses are in these positions more often than not, so they are going to get beat more often than not. Ruby Walsh, everyone talks about Ruby Walsh falling at the last, but it's only because he's at the last in front more than anyone else.
Of course it is.
That
My favourite thing McCoy's ever said to me when we were joking about something, he goes, oh, 'cause he's got a wicked sense of humour, AP. He's funny. And he was like, God, go on about all these winners. He goes, Yeah, I've written about 12,000 losers. But it was just so funny how he really took it on the chin. And I thought, what a lovely way to be quite modest and turn it into. But it was a nice kind of phrase, really.
Legends of the game, of course. Legendary panel we've got for you here today, of course. Myself, Dave Orton, leading the way. Natalie Green, the exotic queen. Have we got the forecast is coming up at 4:30, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Tom Pye. How you feeling, Parky?
I've had some good each way.
Yeah, happy now.
Should be.
Got a winner in the bag, so...
It's amazing what a winner does for the soul.
Yeah. I've not had an awful lot of bets today, so getting one in is a good way to kick things off. I can have more bets now.
Could this... Well, that's how it works, isn't it? Could
Exactly,
this be
yeah.
Marc Hryhorskyj's time to shine? Let's go to Hammersmith and find
We'll
out from our
definitely need something,
Betfair.
Dave. Anyway, but who come 8-1 we are for the Hardwick. So
He's not in the
decent
King
price
George.
there.
I assume the King George entries are out now.
I've not got any prices on that one at the moment. But just Ryan Moore, I've done a few interviews with him for betting.betfair. He's okay. He's a cool guy off camera. But on to the 345 and see if we can get a winner here. Got our old favourite Cap Francais in this race. £5 higher since that famous one in Newmarket. We're on at 40s. But we won't be on this one today. And we're going to go for Hughie Morrison's Victory Chime. Obviously, this one's in the lucky, stepping back in the handicap company. And this can be competitive off 107 top weight. 3 runs at Epsom, 2 wins in a second. Ground, no concern. Course and distance winner. Ticks all the boxes. I think the favourite, Mock to see William Knight, won its last 2. Good to firm. Not sure the ground will suit. Got £5 for that one at Goodwood. Good to soft today. But we're going to go for Victory Chime, Tom, if you can do the honours. And we're definitely going to take advantage of the extra places on the Betfair Sportsbook here. We get 5 places instead of 3 here. I think this is a cracking each way bet at 25-1 right now.
All right.
Huge price. Ticks all the boxes.
Yes, he does. I'm just trying to remind myself as you were talking about...
What are we staking on Victory Chime?
25 each way we'll go for, Tom.
25 each way, 25-1.
Yeah.
5 places.
I've been told, Tom, that I've got to hold it. I'm not allowed to hold this, apparently. At the moment, you can keep it warm.
Oh, yes, I've
Nat,
never
don't
held
touch it. You're not allowed to.
Never held it.
You've still got
Will it
work to
stay
do.
there or do I...
You've hit
Tell me to move it.
the crossbar today, but that's about it, isn't it? I mean, that's better than I've done. Actually.
No, I'm happy with some of my each ways. I'm fine. Good price. Don't worry. There's
Easily
more to come.
pleased.
There's more to come. No, it's good. More
All
to
right.
come. Don't you worry. Ye've little faith.
I'm trying to see if Victory Chime had won this race before, Mark. He hasn't, but I do associate him with these big handicaps around here. I'm sure, in fact, he was second last year off a mark of 102 behind Blue Cap. Do you remember that gamble that was landed under Ryan Moore? What's he off here then? Victory Chime. He's got for enough £5 on his back. Stall 14, that won't be a problem for him, will it? Because that's another weird thing to say, isn't it? Who thought today they'd be... And that is flirting with the stands rail, Hookham, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
Hello.
You wouldn't have expected that, I don't think, at the start of the day.
No way. No way. So fascinating to see what the jockeys are saying about the ground. Of course, we haven't got it here, but if you're on the members club, go to the analysis in the first race of the woodcut, and they'll probably be telling you whether it's kicking up and all that sort of stuff. The analysts tell you very clearly about the ground, and usually in the first races of the day. They're expecting the track at Catterick have just been got through as well, so not another inspection.
Oh, really?
Not another one. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous, isn't it? So we'll keep an eye on that. Catherine McRae, one of our great up-and-coming reporters, she is hot on that at the moment. Social coming up, great stuff. Jake Galloway, welcome, Jake. Relation to George, I wonder. Great show so far, guys. Mock to Saab in the next, and Bad Company each way. Talking about Epsom, Bad Company and Jim Boyle, Epsom trainer, can see that. And it comes in out of field and win. Big price that actually, Jake, isn't it? And of course, Mock to Saab. Let's talk about the favourite then. Well, we've got a chance. Around about 15 minutes to the next race. Keep the social interaction coming in. You keep us going on this show. We've got another one to come after this. But for Jake, let's talk about Harry Redknapp's horse. Now, we had Izzy Phillips on the show a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
We did.
And we did. And do you remember, this was her favourite interview, she told us, thus far.
Was it?
She was there on track doing race day TV. That's what I think it is.
I don't remember.
Don't you remember? Why not?
Because I've got a bad memory.
That memorable. Well, I remember it. She basically said that
not
Harry
dizzy,
was
I just don't remember.
brilliant,
Yeah, oh,
and everyone at the track had backed it. It was her favourite moment of being on the track. And it looks like everyone's backing this again.
yes, it's all coming back to me.
Izzy's there tomorrow, I think, on the
Slowly,
Derby day.
she's brilliant. Yeah, because so passionate about his racing. I just thought he said a funny one-liner that she told us. I just can't remember it. It's like, he gets
did.
more kick
She said
out
a
of-
couple, didn't
no,
she, Izzy?
No, she said something like he was saying about he gets a bigger kick out of the racing almost than back in the day with football. There was something she said that's coming back into my brain that I thought was really nice.
Absolutely loves the game.
He
does
loves
Harry.
it. Loves it.
Yeah, I remember I used to know a guy who used to look after the visiting managers when they came onto the track, and apparently he would always say, listen, at 3:30 during the game, I want you to come down and tell me how my horse is doing and stuff. Anyway, shall we go to Epsom, because there has been a coronation of sorts, this time for Hookham. I'm thrilled to say that senior writer Lee Mottershead beams into the show.
Well, that's
It's all gone. It's breaking up a tad, Lee. We'll see if we can get you back, Lee. God, he was
It's the
really giving it a large
gremlins.
there as well, Lee, wasn't he? This is. I really wanted to talk to Lee as well today. I'm desperate to talk to Lee as well. We'll see if we can get him back as well. Sorry about that, Lee. Sorry about that, guys out there. Of course, Wi-Fi needs to sort itself out.
Gremlins in the system.
Matt Chapman did a big thing about it recently, didn't he? I could sort of still hear Lee in my ear, I think, actually. Anyway, but
I am here.
Oh, you're there!
Hey.
Yes!
I'm here.
Aha! Lee.
I'm stood by the generators and the bins just outside the press room, which is my natural habitat. I found my environment.
Lee, it's great to have you. I tell you what, if you saw the picture we'd have up of you, Lee, you'd be livid. There's a young Lee Mottershead on screen at the moment. Lee, give us a little bit of colour from the track, will you?
Well, do you know, actually, Dave, there is more colour to be seen here than I maybe would have expected. Oaks Day is always a great day. There's always tremendous atmosphere here about the place, but it feels busier, it feels livelier, it's more buzzing than usual. Now, of course, there are reasons why. We're in a Jubilee bank holiday at the moment, so more people are able to get here than they would in a normal year. But even allowing for that, it's still great to see an atmosphere at Epsom. I live 10 minutes away down the track. I come and do evening walks here maybe twice a week when the whole place is completely empty. It's bizarre to see it like this, but it's really encouraging on the eve of the derby when we hope the middle of the track, the hill, will be completely full.
It's great to have you on, Lee, because at the start of this week, I asked Lee if he would come onto this show on Monday. And we've already lauded you on the show, Lee, because...
Oh, stop.
Well, look, the words that you wrote about Lester Piggott on Monday were up there with the best I've ever read in the Racing Post. A sad week, Lee.
Yeah, a really sad week, Dave, and you're very kind. And we had a really poignant moment here. About 1:15 p.m, you'll know that there's a Lester Piggott statue here on the lawn in front of what is now the Queen Elizabeth II stand. And at 1:15, Ryan Moore came with a wreath, a garland of flowers in the red, yellow and green of Nijinsky. He laid those in front of the Lester Piggott statue. He looked back, he nodded at Lester. To the side, we had Maureen Piggott, Lester's daughter, and Brian York, Lester's long-time valet. They took part in the 1 minute round of applause. And it was a moment clearly of great sadness and a moment to remember Lester Piggott. But because of the applause, it was almost a moment of celebration as well, which is, I'm sure, what the great man would have wanted. Because of all the things that we know about a Lester Piggott, and we know an awful lot, one of the things that maybe we weren't quite so sure of was that he actually really did enjoy being recognised. He was the sort of guy that liked to know that all those years after he finished riding, he was still remembered and he was still lauded as the greatest ever. And I think that moment that we had at Epsom this afternoon underlined that he was the greatest ever.
Yes, and he said to you, Lee, didn't he, the end of your piece on Monday, it's not been a bad life, one can't complain. Well, absolutely not. What a story it was for the guy that had his first ride at 12, won all those classics and everything. Lee, how's the betting going before we let you go?
Well, the favourite for the Oaks, Emily Upjohn, has been drifting, which is worrying for me, Dave, because on my personal betting front, which I think is probably what you're getting at. I'm with Emily Upjohn. I backed her after the Sandown race. So I've got my best ever anti-post book going into Epsom, but whenever that happens to me, they all get beat. So I've got the prices, but I won't get the winners. I speak to John Gosford as he came down the steps after that last race of the Coronation Cup. And I said to him, John, the ground looks to be becoming more in your favourite fillies sort of favour. That John said all along he doesn't want soft ground for it. Well, it's drying ground here, but he made the point. He said that it's always the Guineas form that you worry about. They're the fillies who've got that Group 1 form. So I don't know whether John was trying to get his excuses in early or just try and just try and put a lid on enthusiasm. But he was really telling us to remember those fillies with the form from the Guinea. So maybe that's something to think about as we approach the Oaks.
Oh, you probably told him about your anti-post voucher and he said, I'm not having the Motter's Head jinx on it. So one classy operator to another. Lee, great to have you on. It's always an absolute pleasure to have you with us. Just a quick one, Lee. Next Monday, we're going to be seeing a bit more of you from now on.
Oh, yeah, God help you. Yeah, so we have got a new exciting programme for Racing Post. It's called The Front Page. It will be a programme which Racing Post writers will debate some of the big issues over the previous week. Really looking forward to it, Dave. Hopefully, it'll be the sort of thing that complements excellent stuff that you guys already produce for Racing Post. We'll have Chris Cook and Maddie Flale on the first episode, and we'll be looking at all the big stories from the previous week. So, as many people say after many programmes, do tune in.
Absolutely, we'll be doing that, and hopefully we'll be getting you back on tomorrow, Lee, if you get a bit of time. Good luck writing about the Oaks. I know it gets crazy for you, so thanks for coming on, and good luck with the Fav.
Thanks, Dave. Cheers. Bless you.
Bless him. Absolutely, can move away from the bins now. The stench
And the
is not something
generator.
that you associate with Lee Motter. So that was great, wasn't it? We'll get that clipped up, no doubt. And some interesting, very interesting things there, of course. John Gosden trying to be calm about it all, but I think that's pretty typical of John, isn't it, to point you in the way of solid form.
Yeah, but he's just talking sense like
It
he
was
always
really
does.
telling last week that he compared it. He was like, "Oh no, enable that is," and I was thinking when he said, "Oh that." Yeah, of course, it's a silly comparison. And he goes, but to Gruder, I'm thinking, oh yeah, just the King George winner. Yeah, that's
Oaks and King George winner. Well, we're at 4:30, just under an hour away now. Probably going off a little bit late, won't he? So an hour until we see the fate of Lee Mottis and so many of you out there. Who's like Lee? Who's got the fancy prices after the Sandown win? And of course the Musadora as well. Frankie, there he is. These colours. Will he be doing a flying dismount after 4:30? Our final race for you. We've got one more to come. That was great. Really buzzing off that. Let's get some reaction to that out there as well. Lee is there for us both days. Like I say, 6 p.m. you'll be able to read all of his great words out there as well. And honestly, I wasn't just blowing smoke for good reason. That was sensational from Lee on Monday. And next Monday, I'm not sure exactly what time the front page will come out. We've seen the studio, haven't we, that they're going to be in?
Yeah.
We did a little test for them, didn't we, this morning?
It's quite small.
It's small enough, yeah. Smaller than this.
It's nice, though.
It's very nice.
It's got quite a nice little vibe about it, like an intimate sort of... I liked it.
Utilising the Racing Post
Yeah,
space
it's
very
clever.
well, the boys.
I think it would look really good, actually,
Yeah.
on screen.
So
yeah.
we are looking forward to that. Every Monday it's going to be a new thing. It'll be like the News Night of Racing. We often provide the stories for all the other shows out there in TV land, don't we? Well, they're going to try and devise front pages and all sorts of stuff. We're going to see who gets the front page at the weekend and all that sort of stuff. And clever ideas
like
out there.
it.
sounds
cool.
good.
You might even find yourself on it, Parky.
Yeah,
I don't know about me on that, but the weekly's editor.
see how desperate they are.
All right, Marc Hryhorskyj patiently waiting in the wings. Mock to Saab, we got to that. We saw some social love at it. Before we give our tips, a reminder of yours, Marc, and your old friend Cap Francais coming in for money.
Yeah, Cameron says it's been quite strong. It's around 9-1 and 6-1, 7.6 on the Betfair Exchange, so a lot of money for this one. Moxley is very strong as well, around 11-4, 3.85. It's a bit of late money for Jim Boyle's Bad Company. That was matched around 50s, 60s. That's into 33-1 on the Betfair Exchange. Victory Chime, we're on at 25s on the Sportsbook. That one's out to 44s on the Betfair Exchange, so it's quite weak. But they're definitely queuing up to get on Cap Francais, our old favourite, 7.6, and Mock to Seeb 3.85.
Why aren't you with him today, Martin, Cap Francais? Because he showed himself to not be a flash in the pan with that second afterwards, didn't he?
I just think it was a great ride by James Doyle at Newmarket, nicked it from the front. I don't think Epsom's probably going to be his course. I think Victory Chime, course and distance massive around here, is a great record. I think going back in a handicap company, I think he's a massive price. And obviously we've got the each way angle there as well. Nick a place, 5-1, 6-1, that's what we want.
Beckett hoping for a bit more fortune than he got in the first. Of course, we were well back, keep bidding. Could it be the William Buick factor, I suppose, on Cap Francais as well? Ian Williams, whose horses just seem to run well all year round. Right, let's go down the panel.
Very interesting race for me. I looked at Bad Company, took myself out of it, because I want to win now.
What, so you're thinking, I think this might be a bit beyond him?
Well, Mock to Saab, unbeaten since joining William Knight, so I can see that.
Haven't tipped a
Lots
fad
of
yet today, have you?
sizzlers, like not finished out the first 2 in 5 runs, looked at that. Versatile horse, Sotso Sizzler, very versatile, so not to be ignored. But what I've come down on is Cap Francais for many a reason.
You're on the drone pilot bandwagon.
I am on the drone pilot bandwagon. A one-time Derby prospect.
He was. Do you remember what beat him in the Derby trial at Lingfield?
It was...
I only looked at it.
I backed him that day
Cap
at Lingfield.
Francais was the only horse in a lucky 15 that I had that day that let me down.
At Lingfield?
No.
Bad.
Can you remember what beat him
Bad
at
memories.
Lingfield?
It was a Ballydoyle horse, wasn't it?
It was the Derby winner, Anthony Van Dyke.
Anthony Van Dyke. We only talked about this just
It was.
literally 2 hours ago.
It was. You were talking about this in the morning, and
No, just 2 hours ago.
right, okay.
No, Cap Francais, yeah, but he's been revitalised since the switch to Ian Williams. Now, Ian had...
Not surprising that, really.
Ian did actually send him over to Dubai in the winter, but sadly he picked up an injury.
Oh, well, so when I said he was a hound earlier, that's why you looked at me with a bit of
That's why-
scorn.
Yeah, because
I see.
sadly he then had to come home, which is not ideal, is it, over the winter? Anyway, that's fine. Then he ran at Newmarket, didn't he, after the injury? This is after the injury, and he won. But he did hang a bit left in the dip. I was watching that in the replay. I get the impression with this horse, Ian absolutely won't want to run it on too good a ground. No special horse that's had an injury will not want to be on, will not want to go on rattling ground, which we don't have today. So this is another tick for me. So I'm actually really happy with that. Will Buick on board is such a positive, isn't it? But yeah, the hanging left a little bit, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, I'm really keen on this horse. But I just thought it was interesting. He went to Dubai, but the injury was early on.
Do you think they bought him with the, or they sent him to Ian with the view of maybe going over a hurdle?
Who, Cap Francais?
Yeah.
Possibly.
And they've kept him for the flat. Oh, maybe he didn't jump.
I only saw Ian yesterday. Should have asked him.
Listen.
They dropped him
Yeah,
back.
he passed me really quickly. He talks, and I was kind of like, hi, and then I...
Oh, he was there, was he?
Yeah, it was great yesterday. Kim Bailey was there, Ian Williams was there, John O'Neill was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
it was
wanted
good
to
track,
ask
innit?
Ian about Cap Francais.
Well, okay.
I should have. Annoyed myself.
Let's get some more social up before hearing about Nat's missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Commander Van Rorik comes back on. Good to have you, Commander. One of our very original contributors. I'm chancing Good Birthday, who pops up at this time of year. Be topical for me. Liking the Prober on board. Each way, of course, you never know. A horse that I had a lot of faith in as a youngster.
Me too.
And he got beaten by Lord North in the Cambridgeshire, do you remember?
Yeah.
And I kind of was... And we wouldn't have beaten the winner that day, but got a terrible run through. And I thought, right, there's a big one in him. He let me down. The moment, of course, I got off him, SDS guided him home to a few wins, Sylvester, and I just haven't been with him since.
He crops up every now and then, doesn't he?
So like the Commander
what he
said.
said.
Commander's
he's
a
one you
shrewd old
couldn't
guy.
really put a line through because he's talented on his day too, and he's a big price today.
I'd
Few
have
of
him
those
in
in
the, I'd
this
have him in
race.
the Bad Company camp, though, because obviously Bad Company beat him last time, and they're both quite big prices. So you wouldn't knock anyone, would you, for having a bit of an each way on Bad Company
Just
or Good
hearing, by the way, I'm
Birthday?
thrilled to say racing goes ahead at Catterick.
Oh, it's good. I saw John Quinn and Jason Hart
We
and
did
Simon
not
Whittaker on
want
track.
another abandonment, did we? Especially
No.
not today.
In pictures, I saw Simon Whittaker have a smile, so maybe that was a good...
The horse I've backed here, Dave, is Royal Champion. Now, he has been somewhat disappointing, I think, to say the least.
What happened last time?
Yeah. Can you remember we were on this show and
Yes.
Robbie had said Royal Champion's got no chance, he's only rated 100. David Baxter, one of our old colleagues who now works for Varian,
Yes.
is his secretary.
He is, isn't he?
He messaged, and it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, I think, but he said this horse is a stone better than 100.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
And he was absolutely awful. Now, they've gelded him since.
That was behind Chindit, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. He was rubbish. But they've gelded him, so they're trying to fight. He's obviously showing, showing something at home.
The
to
gelding
suggest
is the angle. It's his handicap debut, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
and
that
off a
lightly
mark of
raced.
97, they obviously think. I mean, he ran in Dante's and stuff last year?
Yeah, he ran in the. He did in the Dante, didn't he? Yeah.
So they
8 to 1 for
obviously think this horse has got some talent. I mean, the fact
Yeah,
they
he
were
was
running
second
it against Chindit and stuff last time.
What I would say is when a horse runs too badly to be true, it's got a profile like this, there is something they can go and correct.
Yeah, and
I don't think
they've
we'd
got
see
an
him again,
opportunity to
personally.
run him in a handicap as well, which,
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to show it. and
97
there's a
could
lot
be
of
well
trust.
within his grasp, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I just sense that they obviously think a lot of him. He's bred to be really good.
Yeah.
And Star One's going to be, it looks like it's the place to be after the first few races today.
Well, because you've got more room to manoeuvre now, haven't you? No hard luck stories from one there should be, really, because they're coming all the way over the other side.
Yeah, I mean, this horse could finish last and be tailed off, but he
It's an
could
interesting
just have the
angle there,
talent.
Tom. I mean, the Varying Yard, 30% strike rate right now. Connections pursuing with them could be competitive here, giving them another chance of the gelding operation.
He had that weird month, didn't he, where his strike rate just plummeted and then it went back up again. I mean, Rog being out of form, you never just... It's just words that you don't say on
I
air.
agree, but that happens to everyone, doesn't it?
And, of course, D-Backs is his secretary now, isn't he? Left our shores to go there.
Yeah.
Not saying anything about the stable form. Hope you're watching, Dave. Soto Sizzler, Ryan Moore for me. Ryan to get on the score sheet here before some Oaks time. It's Epsom. It's Soto Sizzler. It's David Manuzia and Ryan Moore. Won the race last year with Blue Cap. This bloke just adores the gaff, doesn't he? In fact, I'm going to get you his form figures up for it. They'll probably jump off the base. He's 2 away from Tom in stall 3. Happy with that. I was slightly worried coming into the day whether this could be one of the horror rides, you know. But Epsom, 5 runs, 1-1, 2-2, 1. It's going to be another one after this, I hope. And again, I'm a bit surprised he's not Fav, to be honest, Marc Hryhorskyj. How's he gone in the market?
He's been very strong in the last 5 to 10 minutes. He's around 7.8. He's into 6.2, around 5-1. Moxie trading between 3.5 and 3.9. 3.8 currently, 11-4. But So Scissor's definitely one of the outsiders backing here. Good birthday, a little bit of money for that one as well for Andrew Balding. It's 33s on the Betfair Exchange.
We got some shrewdies out there, haven't we? We really have. We've got
I'm looking forward to this, how this race is going to be like tactically. Like, for example, Cap Francais is actually quite a small horse, but he's got a massive engine, which
What's going to lead, Nat Green?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, because so my pick, Cap Francais, he was really solely into stride at Chester, but what I loved is, my goodness, he came flying from the back. Flying, which I love. I just wonder tactically, is that going to happen a bit again today? Is he going to just be patient and then go for it because he has got that engine and that turn of foot? That intrigues me.
I remember napping him once
at
Royal Ascot Cap Francais. It might have been in his 4-year-old season when I thought, right, he's going to bounce back. But I think it was a listed race at Royal Ascot. And Graham Dench, my old boss, Denchy, said he knows all his trainers. And he said, oh, he knows an utter. He's far too keen. So my point being that Ian Williams is the kind of guy that rectifies these things, right?
Yeah.
He's a sort of troubleshooter, isn't he? Yeah. So, I don't know, Cap Francais.
But that's what I'm just really intrigued about how this is gonna go.
Well, let's see what other people think out there. Frizzy comes back on. We're going to have to do this in 2 parts, Frizzy, apparently, but it's sort of with Tom. Frizzy Red, Royal Champion, has to be better than what he showed at Doncaster last time.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be.
Has to be.
It wouldn't surprise me if he isn't, but
he's very weak on the Betfair Exchange. He's around 14s out to 20s, but again, he's a massive price. Sort of one you maybe have a small saver on.
And you finish off, Frizzy, by saying, but I think Hryhorskyj is interesting. Keel's put this up, didn't he? Hryhorskyj, William Jarvis's runner, drawn in 12. Money for that, Marc?
Quite weak, around 55s on the Betfair Exchange right now.
He says he has a bad draw. Well, maybe not now, William.
It's hard as well, because a lot of people sort of ignore the Bahrain form. So it's easy to not relate that so much onto British turf. But actually, it could have plenty of ability. We just need to see it over here, if that makes sense. It's kind of easy to ignore, isn't it? Dirt or Bahrain.
He's been running at Sakir, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Behind horses like Zagato, who's transformed himself over there, but of course used to race for John Gosden. Right, they're down at the start then. Penultimate race before we get to the Pièce de la Résistance today. It is the Epsom Oaks coming up at 4:30. We'll have 45 minutes to go through. Plenty to chew about. And we want to hear from you out there. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. That's all important. Gives us a thumbs up and gets you on. If you're watching on Facebook Live as well, hola. And let's hear from you on Twitter too. Ed Gregson doing the social stuff today. Sterling work so far from Ed. We're having fun. We're back tomorrow, of course. Every Saturday, all being well. In 2022, we will be coming to you, Royal Ascot on the horizon as well. Delighted. I thought I was Epsom then. Delighted to see they've jumped on.
Dave, for 1 second, I went, oh my God. No, it's fine.
I'd have been ready, I have to say. I would have been ready. We just want to see them get round the bend here, don't we? Well, let's have a quick moment then, because we're going to have a minute or two as well. What's going on with this? 4 tracks, 3 of them we covered last weekend. 4 tracks, and 2 tracks turned out quickly, didn't they? What's going on with the
I know, even Haydock Saturday, not all, but some head people and some prolific jockeys went and walked the track just before racing. We were like,
Oh, they are off now. Blimey, split screens. I thought
Oh,
they would have
right,
at least
okay.
waited for Catterick.
Right.
And it's a quick race as well, but no, Epsom having none of it. All right, so unfortunately we are split screening here in the studio, but I can see that, what's this got to front? Sweet Reward at the moment for Jonathan Portman and SDS in front at the moment. Bad Company likes to lead. I'm looking for him. He's having to take a sit in third. Love is Golden, who was quite well fancied for the Johnsons. That's only involved, but already being scrubbed a little bit. I'll tell you what, if you're out the back at the moment, you're way off the pace. Victory Chime. Is that him out the back, Mark?
Yeah, I think we could be cooked here. Victory Chime, yeah.
Mark,
I'm not
gone for a
going
biggie. The
great guns
trophy's not
either.
going to Hammersmith. Mock to Saab, the favourite. If you're on this, how excited are you getting? He's got what we would call the pole position. I'm looking for Ryan Moore, trying to do what he did on Blue Cup last
Ryan
year.
Moore's sitting at the back.
Right at the back with
Right,
Cap
yeah.
Francais, guys. Good birthday out as well. Caradoc, another one of kills, is there. He's midfield sit at the moment for Oshin Orr, who's been riding a couple of winners for Richard Fahey. Parky, you're in a nice spot.
Yeah, he does this though, and it's when the pressure really comes that you've got to worry about Royal Champion.
We will find out. I should say Roger Varian, by the way, 4 winners, 4 runners in the last 10 years, 3 winners in this as well for Royal Champion. I'd be very wary of him in running at the moment. Marc Hryhorskyj, you've not got long to tell us who's gone fav.
Cape Cup front. So I've got Mock to Sav 3.45 running here around 9 to 4. There's a little bit of money for Sylvester de Souza here as well. 7 to 1 from the front.
They're about 2 funnels out. Thanks,
Keels
Mark. Good
has picked
birthdays,
running
absolutely
all right.
on the bridle. Look at Soto Sizzler. Now, I'll tell you what, range of
Here comes
opinions
Royal
here.
Champion.
Come on, Royal Champion.
Good birthdays, the one that's catching
Royal
my eye.
Champion.
Ryan
Come on, Royal
trying to come
Champion.
through. Look at Royal Champion. Could this be a quick double for Parky?
Come on,
No,
Royal
I tell you
Champion.
what, unbelievable scenes. The weekly's editor. Good birthdays, the problem. Soto
Come on.
Sizzler doing what
Stick
he
your
does.
head down.
Coming late, surely too late.
Come on.
Rewards there. At the moment,
Royal
it's Royal Champion. The group
101.
horse in the
Come on, Royal
It's
Champion.
101 gone, isn't he? Have we seen the 101 yet?
Royal
Soto
Champion,
Sizzler
101.
trying to go. Story of my day here in the
Oh,
He's in
yeah.
stuff.
Look at
This
Soto
is
Sizzler.
hosed up. Well done, all of you out there. Frizzy Red, et
done,
al.
Parky.
Not all of a sudden
I'm
feeling the blues at the
impressed.
moment.
Yeah, that was very good.
Oh,
I'm
look
well
at that.
impressed.
He lifted the trophy as well. That is a sign of things to come here. Great tipping, Parky. It's a quick double for you then. Taking out, of course, Hookham. And that was Hookham's style, wasn't it? Marc Hryhorskyj, I could hear you in the final furlong. Were you saying this has flown?
Yeah, all I was saying is just the magic number 101. Great shout from Tom there. I hope your contact tipped you off about that one today. Be disappointed if he didn't, but never went higher than the BSP there. Looked all over at the 2 pole. Andrea Azzini kicked on 1 very, very comfortably. Royal Champion. I think the selection Victory Chime just didn't go yard. Looked beat after a furlong. Not sure what happened there. Maybe check the Shears report. Maybe something was amiss. Winner well on top for Roger Varian. You can definitely see that one going in again.
Well, that is a proverbial group horse in a
I
handicap,
just
and the
got a
gelding operation's done
WhatsApp
it.
from DJ because it was his pick as well. Like, yeah! Keels, beep off. Bit of banter going on from this morning's show.
Even in here, they infiltrate my perfect afternoon. Kills will be.
Well
Kills will
done,
be.
though.
Kills
That
will
was
be
a
able to get it.
really good shout.
Listen, Tom, great stuff, man. We've got social coming up. Look at this. Genghis comes back on and says, Parky is a Jubilee champion.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely
You
happy
are.
days. Congratulations on promotion as well, by the way, we should say.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Mackham out there.
Yeah, I was at a wedding, so I couldn't actually go.
Really?
But,
I know lots of High Wycombe fans. You know, Wycombe
I don't have a
Wanderers,
very
so-
good record at Wembley, so it's probably best I stayed away. But
We'll be playing each other next year. We will
yeah.
go, shall we?
We'll
Watford,
go,
let's do
definitely,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got Jimmy Pugh as well in the office as well. That's going to be an expensive day for me. All right, great stuff. What a race that was. Tricky race to try and work out where they're going in the straight, guys, isn't it? What's it going to be like in the Oaks, our next race coming up? Let's pick the bones out of this, though, Nat. I mean, he's in 5th at the moment. You know, with a horse like this, if he's turning in here, engines are running, aren't they?
Yes, I'm just... Not having the best day, am I, Dave? Not having the best day.
Mate, and it's not as bad as mine, let me tell you. I've had 2 seconds now, in fairness. I'm going to go out on a winner.
It's tricky, isn't it? I mean...
Do you know Soto Sizzler's hit even money in running there?
Wow.
I didn't think he was ever going to get there.
Well,
That's a
Ryan
mad-
pulls him through here a furlong out, and he does finish hard. And we know what Exchanges players are like. They're no horses, don't they?
I thought Sots
I thought it was 101, the winner. 2 out for me.
Really?
Yeah.
What,
Shouting it.
2 out, 101,
he hasn't
man.
actually tapped him at all.
101?
It's just,
That's confident.
Bad Company's
yeah,
run
it's
really
all
well.
over.
The pace has kind of held up as well. Good birthday. Commander ran really well, didn't he? And again on a going day. Mock to Saab. Ran
Very
okay.
disappointing,
I
the
don't
favourite.
think he liked the track. If you watch it back, Good Birthday comes close to him, and he looks like he's going to. He's coming back at the finish. Give him a chance again. If he goes to a Royal Ascot handicap, could be quite interesting. Will we be looking at the Wolverton for this horse? Do you reckon he's that sort of horse, Tom? Mile 2 now, Ascot listed.
Yeah, how much is he going to get put up for that? I mean, that was seriously impressive.
You're getting £8 from the Mr. Epsom Soto Scissors, who's run another blinder, hasn't he?
Brilliant. That was your pick, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was a very good run.
He does need delivering late as possible. And again, anyone that's shouting at Ryan at the moment at the screen, that's how you ride this horse.
I thought that was a really, really pleasing performance.
I think he's ran his race there. I don't think he can. I think the winner. I mean, I'm a pessimist in running, so I'm like, but watching it back there. He's not really.
It's a dream, isn't it? And what you said about the draw was borne out. Stall 1.
Yeah, it's stall 1.
Normally, you have to sit and pray, don't you?
Yeah.
There was some. So look, strong handicap form.
Yeah, it'd be nice just to get some quotes, wouldn't it, and see what Team Berrien are thinking, because you can't really go on the entries here.
And they didn't back him seemingly, really, did they?
No, I know.
He's drifted out.
I never heard anything from Mr. Baxter. So,
we'll try and get him, Sean, because he said it had a stone in hand. He was right, Robbie Wilders, if you're listening.
It'd be fascinating, because entries-wise, we've got like the Royal Hunt Cup over the mile, but then we've got York John Smith's Cup.
John Smith's Cup is interesting, because
That's
they're
quite a
so
good shout.
valuable now, aren't
That's
they?
a good shout.
That's a good shout.
That's a good shout.
What a
Will
shout.
they keep him? How long is that down the road?
August, isn't it?
August, so he maybe
9th of July.
He's a tad fragile, though, the horse. He's proved that, he last ran in March, so what's that? That's a similar sort of gap, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
69-day break, that might be the shout.
Well, yeah.
Have we just seen
How long
the
would it
John Smith's
take
Cup
for a
one?
horse to get over like a gelding operation? Is it?
Oh, no, it's quick.
Quick, yeah.
It's quick. Just
I mean,
slice, get them out, stitch them up.
All the chaps out there are going, really?
I remember my dog sulked at me for about 2 weeks after he
Dogs
got
can sulk.
No, it's a pretty quick look. It's short where it is, where they're, bits are in between. You don't want any like rubbing or heat, you don't want it all sweating up. It's big like sweaty ball area. Like you want it to be clean. And you can say balls, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
of
balls.
course, don't worry. We can scratch other parts.
So where it is, but then also it takes a little while for all the testosterone to I think they still think you won't put them straight next to a filly. They'll still be a bit funky. for a
Only
bit.
Natalie Green.
But then all the testosterone leaves, and then they're like pretty.
I'm so glad I asked this question.
Then they're pretty. Well, just saying.
Yeah, a lot of some interesting.
Just giving you the honest.
There's some interesting social
The
reactions
later you
coming
cut
out
them,
of there.
the more.
Tim Ashton says, boom,
Boy.
the tracker does come in handy. Quite absolutely. This would probably be one that you've forgotten about in your tracker, Tim, wouldn't it, of course? Damon Moffat's come on a couple of times, and crikey, that thing got beaten 4.5 lengths combined in its last 2 runs. But we hopefully told you why, didn't we? He's a horse that has had physical issues.
Yes.
Yeah, and the fact they were running him in these races, I mean, look, it worked out today, and it often doesn't. But they obviously thought he's doing something at home to suggest he's pretty good, because he's been well backed for these races. He subsequently wasn't well backed today, but I mean, look, it's easy in hindsight, but there were clues there anyway to suggest that he was. It
was still a good pick though.
Better, yeah.
You've done. Yeah, you did well there. Because you try and read between the lines, don't you? Like even on Roger's quotes, he sort of said, see how he comes out of the race and trains on. We'd happily put him away. We'll wait till next year. But what he does say is, I think he's a nice horse for the future.
Yeah.
And that was back in 2020. So there's been.
I don't think they were expecting this horse to be gelded. I think at the start of this last season, certainly they had.
To run him in the Dancy like they
mind.
did, Roger doesn't waste his arrows a bit, although he who must be obeyed, as we call Sheikh Obeyed, he's sort of like, the pressure's on a little bit. But I suppose if any, and that's probably why Roger succeeded. Of course, you remember they were with Luca Kamani, they went over to Roger Varian, and Roger is just unflappable, really. Been through a lot.
I mean, I don't think he'd be running handicaps again anyway, so.
Well, that's it. Well,
But
maybe the John Smiths is the cup.
Wolferton isn't a handicap anymore, is it?
It's not. It's a listed race.
Yeah, so maybe the Wolferton will be.
Yeah, one of my favourite races at Royal Ascot at the Wolverton.
Yeah.
And George Murray, one of our regulars, says, I remember Medician getting turned over in the John Smiths Cup, which did happen, of course, for James Fernshaw. It was James Fernshaw, I think, wasn't it? All right, great stuff. So, look, we're flying through the day.
I know, it goes so quickly when you get going, doesn't it?
Even when you're just doing one meeting, when the racing is quality and we've got our community out there and that we're dictated to by what happens, that cup is probably going back up to Buckingham. Is that where you're from these days?
Rugby, Warwickshire.
Rugby.
Yeah.
Whoever
I don't sound like I'm from Rugby.
Don't worry, we've got security on the door. They won't let him leave with it.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Is it heavy? I'll just touch it in case.
It's so heavy.
It's really heavy. It's. Oh, it's Oaks time. And Parky is on a quick hat-trick, would you believe? I'm trying to remember what you've put up in this park. Don't say now.
I won't say now.
We won't sit now, but OK, all right. So let's go to Marc Hryhorskyj, who me and Marc are propping up the back with the trophy. We've got one chance to prize it away from him. And if we were to, I mean, actually, mine probably won't do it now. But knowing you, Marc, you might be, in fact, you are the only one in with a shout of toppling Tom for the trophy in the Oaks. Why?
I'm not sure what price I am here, but just on the last race, Royal Champion, we're 12-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook for the Royal Hunt Cup. Same as Totally Charming, both very impressive today, both 12s. But going on to probably the biggest race of the day, going on to the Oaks, all eyes John Gosden's Emily Upjohn. Been notably weak on the Betfair Exchange, was around even money. Went out to a 2.66 this morning. She's back into around, I think she's around 6-4, 2.5 on the Betfair Exchange. There's a £1 million match in the market as well, so it's a pretty solid market. All the early money was more money for Nashwa, John Gosden's other apparent second string. She was impressive at Newbury last time out for me, quick and smartly. Aidan O'Brien's notably Tuesday. That I don't know if the Racing Post picked this up. She went out to 50s on the Betfair Exchange, but quickly came back in. I'm not sure what happened there. But back onto the favourite, I think she's quite an imposing sort and looks physically sort of ahead of the other 3-year-olds in the race. However, I mean, I won't be backing her. I think it took a wee bit of Will York for her to settle, and she pulled quite a lot early. The first 2 furlongs. I don't think it was a great race, to be honest with you, either. Visually, it looked impressive. I think she got to the front, and Frankie gave her a good ride to the front quite easily, got first run. But hung left under pressure and at the centre of the course as well would be a negative. The second fave, Life of Dreams, played up at the start as well. I don't think the Sandown form's any good either. She's not going to get her own way here. If she was odds on around even, it'd just be a straight up lay. But I'm going to play 2 in this race, 2 big prices. We've got Rogue Millennium. We'll get it out there, right? Rogue Millennium for Tom Clover. This one was still green, winning at Lingfield last time out. All the best work late on. Jack Mitchell, it always looked like he was going to get there. I think this one will improve the step up and trip. Strong traveller. They're going to go a good gallop here. I think this one will be still on the bridle, 3 out. They're going to set up for a finisher here. Second selection is Aidan O'Brien's Concert Hall. Shamie Heffernan takes a ride. That'll be the second one I'm going to be dutching in this race. Obviously, was behind John Gosden's in Spiral at Newmarket at the Fillies Mile. Won on a reappearance run at Navan. I think that was highly encouraging. And obviously ran behind Homeless Songs at the Curragh. No chance there, but I think that could be good form. I have this one in front of Tuesday, especially with the step up and trip. So that'll be the 2 that'll play, Tom, if we want to dutch the 2 here.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll use the Betfair Exchange here.
Yeah.
So they're both prices. What we'll do is we'll have 30 on Concert Hall at 14s, and then we'll have 20 on Rogue Millennium at 55s.
30 Concert Hall at 14s.
Yeah.
And
20 Rogue Millennium.
20 on at Rogue Millennium at 50s.
I mean, pins dropping all over the land here. I mean, it was whoever thought anyone would be tipping Rogue Millennium today, but this is what Marc Hryhorskyj does. He looks outside of the box. And these rogue horses for Tom Clover have been causing quite a few headlines, haven't they, this week? Obviously, of course, we've got Rogie Bear, as Robbie Wilders calls him. He's a good horse. They have got some really nice young horses coming through. They often are punters' favourites because, you know, they quite well found in the market, but they're really favourites when you come up against some of the bigger yards and they beat them on the all-weather and all that sort of thing. Tom Clover's having a really good year, isn't he?
His horses are quite honest. They always seem to run their race on a regular basis, which I think why maybe punters take to them.
Jack Mitchell is on the plate, so we've got 2. I mean, she's unbeaten. She won the Lingfield Trial, of course, beating Mystic Wells, who just won a handicap going in there. But we know that Lingfield Oaks winners can come and do the job here. Let's have a look at the pedigree. Debarway out of a Naif mare, and going to be no problems with staying. The down one over a mile 5.
She's overpriced, Dave. She's a massive price, 50s
Massive
on the exchange.
price, yeah.
She's overpriced then. All right, and that's what you take a bit of a chance here. And Concert Hall, let's talk about this one, and Nat will come to you on this because you like her as well. This is the classic form that John Gosden was talking to Lee Mottershead about.
I love her. I think she's the value pick against the still red hot Emily Upjohn, really. She ran an eye-catching race, didn't she? Yes, she beaten by 6 lengths at Home of Songs, but I think that's really good form in the Irish 1,000 Guineas. The way she powered through the line suggests to me this trip's going to bring out even more, and that's what I'm looking for, eking out more.
How good is Homeless Songs, by the way?
Yeah. So this form to me,
She's a freak, isn't she?
Concert
This is
Hall,
the
I'd
best
have
form
her,
on offer here.
I'd
Step
have
up
her
and triple
all
suit.
day long over Tuesday. All day long. I don't care. Tuesday was described as a female Luxembourg before she finished third. No. Concert Hall for me, I think she's a right chance. And this was, my forecast, but I don't know whether to reverse it.
I've just had a message through from Dan Walsh, our producer. I'm going to read it out, Dan. Can Parky put his trophy to the right a bit, please, mate? It's a bit braggadocious. We're all letting it cover his
Are you
face.
being a braggart?
Parky has become a trophy. There you go. Yeah, all right.
Love it. You
And he actually put it nearer Nat as well, just to rub it in. She won't like that, Tom, by the way.
And took it away.
She won't like that. We're not going to
This
tease
is what
it.
happens when you...
We're not going to tease it, but you two hopefully could be working a bit together soon, aren't we? So don't annoy her at the start, is what I would say. All right, so Concert Hall, I see it. I totally see it. I think if Ryan has to ride Tuesday because he was, placed in our the 1,000 guineas. Don't say Newmarket or Epsom, whatever you do before a classic. Tuesday's drawn the one poke. Terrible record. Take Adyar out of the equation.
I wouldn't say it's a bad thing today, though.
But today, it's making you think. Ryan will be happier now, won't he, of course? Ryan sort of had to ride Tuesday, I think. But I agree. Concert Hall was the one that caught the eye with the Oaks in mind. I've had a bit on her.
Yeah, who else?
Is this your tip, Concert Hall?
No, because I've gone Emily Upjohn, chased home by Concert Hall. Now I don't know whether to...
Can you
reverse
reverse
You've got
it?
to do the reverse.
Well, of course you can reverse it.
I
You've got to
know.
do the reverse.
It's just,
Flip it
Should
and
not be
reverse
worried
it.
about the favourite, the way it hung under pressure last time. Is she going to handle the course? It's quite big, filly.
she's massive. She's strong. She's strapping. She's huge. I
didn't like the way she went under pressure. She hung left. And she's going to have a proper race here as well.
I'm more worried. I agree with Marc, but I'm more worried about her getting upset in the preliminaries. And it was okay at York because it's a different track, but...
Well, let's keep our eyes on it. Will you do that for us? Are you on Emily watch? Upjohn watch?
Yes, okay, I'll do up. Do you know, when I first heard her name, I was like,
Parky won't, because
Emily
he's got one eye
Upjohn.
on the trophy,
And now I
so there's
love
no
it.
point in asking him.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on her because I want
on
to see
Upjohn
her
watch.
actually. But Marc's making a point here because if she does too much too soon at Epsom, it's not going to work out.
We were just watching for the screen there to
she
see
could
if
be
she was
very
coming
special.
on. Saw
She
Andrea
could be very
Azzini being
special.
interviewed. He had a big smile on his face.
Oh, can I just say though, I spoke to Thady Gosden on Saturday, and she's been to Epsom for her.
She did.
And he said she's fine, absolutely fine with Camber. So I don't know.
That's when he
He's
compared
gonna
it to Tagruda, wasn't it?
he's
When he was
gonna tell me
interviewed?
I
that,
think
He's not
that is a
gonna
big
say.
telltale sign. They obviously don't normally.
Well, she's a big girl, isn't she? And Frankie got off after the Musadora at York last month and said we might want to go and just check her out around there.
I think she's too short. I think she's more the price I expected her to be. She certainly wasn't any odds on.
Listen, at Sandown, she blew them away, and a lot of horses in that race that were thrashed have come out and won. It's often a very good maiden stroke now novice race. Over the years, it has been. Stout used to run.
She wasn't
Oaks
against
prospects in it.
Irish guineas. It was
No.
a completely different level of competition, wasn't it?
The
That's
fourth
the
from
point.
the Musadora, of course, has a go at her, and it's the outside of the lot, the Algarve, of course. So I know you've got an 80-1 shot that was thrashed
Well,
by
that
her.
looked a bit funky monkey. I was having a little buckaroo in the preliminaries Algarve.
Was it?
I'm keeping an
You're
eye.
on
Honestly,
Emily
Dave,
watch.
I am keeping an eye
Another
for you.
social coming on. Trevor Meeks. Trevor, bit of a character as Trev. What does he say? The rank outsider of O'Brien's and the Oaks, the Algarve, has a good jockey on. It's one of my outsider bets. Well, it's a nice link there, actually, Trevor. You're right. Do you know what? When I was sitting in the office this morning, they brought it up on one of the TV channels. I can't remember.
This afternoon.
No, I was there this morning, just chilling. Did I come in late? Did I? Anyway, later than you, I did. And I was. Do you know what? Not often you look at the roster of jockeys in a race. Have a look on your cards now at the jockeys in this race. Not just is this a great bunch of fillies, the best bunch of 3-year-old middle distance fillies we're going to find. It's also a tremendous jockeys race.
Also, the
They're
first
all
time
there,
husband
pretty
and
much.
wife have raced against one another in
Tom
the
and
Oaks.
Holly.
with
But
Tom
Colin
Mark
Keane,
and Holly.
yes, I think we can all agree he's the best Irish rider at the moment.
Colin Keane?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Anyway, he's brilliant, isn't he? Obviously, the
I'd
champion
agree.
jockey now.
God, it
So
is.
you're right, Trevor, out there, and she might give you a run for your money. And interesting.
I like an
colours there,
outsider in this.
Do you?
I mean, I'm going to make it a hat trick for Concert Hall because
Whoa.
she'd be my.
Is that your solid one?
Yeah. I
lot to
just
like
think
about
she's.
Yeah, there is a lot.
It's everything you said. I mean, I kind of feel like she's been that run in the Irish Guineas. She's not bred to run over a mile, and she ran like that.
Well, her dam won this in 2000.
She was, yeah, it was.
So this has been the race for her since she was born. So she was born to win this race. I think double figure price each way. is absolutely fair. I'd be very surprised if she doesn't beat Tuesday. I think Nashwa could be a class act, but there are doubts
a bit
over
of
whether
a
she
fly in
stays.
the ointment here, isn't it?
Nashwa was the one that, if you'd asked me this time last week, she was the one. I think I'd said to Keels last week, she was the one that I liked. But yeah, I've kind of, I get sometimes end up getting sucked into backing non-stayers and backing these flashy types.
Yeah, okay.
And I think, but there is an outsider here that is definitely the wrong price, and that is Kawida. Now, her form, if you're comparing her with the Moonlight, she beat With the Moonlight last year, so the form is there. With the Moonlight looked very good in the Pretty Polly, but she has been beaten by this horse, and she's like 6 times the price. She was third in France last time on a stable reappearance. Ed Walker, the Weekender columnist, said that she'll come on for the run, and he was saying in his column this week that he thinks she's a massive price too. She'll come on for that run. The winner of that race in France was just beaten in a Group 1 on her next start. This is not a 66 to 1 shot this is a solid horse, and she really sticks her neck down. She's got a lovely attitude.
Drawn 4 should save some ground.
I just think that she'll be bang there at the finish. Whether she can grab a place, maybe she's probably not good enough to win. But we've seen in the Oaks before where big price winners are not always
qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
They're usually trained by O'Brien, but great to see Ed Walker.
I certainly think she's the wrong price. Just on the line through With the Moonlight. Anyone who fancies
Concert Hall on top
chance,
of Kawida.
Yeah,
that's how you're playing it.
Yeah,
we usually give a 1, 2, 3 for these, don't we? But 1, 2s are fine.
Yeah,
I like Concert Hall. I don't think I wouldn't. Look, if I was of this way, I would probably be looking to place Emily Upjohn. I think I would.
The words in my mouth there until.
Come on, a rough steer.
Until you mentioned the John Gosden theory, what she'd handle the course. Just had to cancel that place later. 4 to 11 on the Betfair Exchange. I don't think she'll handle the course. Then, because it's time to take an opinion with horses like this. She either wins or she's going to be a bit of a blowout. So I would be. I think it's the sort of thing that Marc, our expert trader from Betfair, and Barry would probably be looking to do. Barry would definitely be taking this on if he was on the show today, without question. She's too short.
She probably is a bit too short. You've got 6 trial winners in there. You've got horses that are placed in the Guineas. The one that I like is a trial winner, and it's Thoughts of June. The best named horse running anywhere this weekend is Thoughts of June, isn't it? And she is.
Yeah, it's quite good.
She's got a bit of a.
It's quite good, yes.
It is. And she beat a horse, of course, at Chester, the Enable route. The Joseph O'Brien horse, let me just remind me of its name.
One of only 2 Galileos.
Above the Curve, who went and won the Prix Saint-Honoré. Group 1 in France last week.
That's
it's
good
the wrong form. Now, Moon de Vega was in there as well, who reopposes, and we didn't see the best of her that day, and Rafe Beckett has won, of course, this race with talent. Knows what he's doing more than a lot of trainers out there with these slow maturing sort of fillies. She'll like the ground, I think, as well, Moon de Vega. Wherever Thoughts of June goes, Moon de Vega might be there as well. I just think, having spoken to Aidan O'Brien about this filly, this is the one that he expects to be the late maturer. Every month on her back, he said he's going to help her. She's from one of these Moiglair families. These colours, they stay, they mature, and they're strong. And a lot of people thought that Above the Curve got the wide trip, hung in a little bit, and maybe had she had a lower draw, she'd have beaten Thoughts of June. Watch it back. You've got time. Ryan Moore he rode a perler on that. He kicked off the bed. He utilised the stamina just as Above the Curve was getting going. But she was going away again just towards the line. She might be even a leisure sort of filly. She's a proper animal.
That would be the way that I
really like her.
I thought she was certainly the rightful winner at Chester. My worry here is with Chester's such a short running off the bend. She seemed to really attack the bends.
Is she going to be vulnerable to some closers?
Yeah, that would be my worry.
Look, you're getting 12. She was 20 to 1 at the start of the week. I got off the interview with Aidan, and people were saying to me, "What? Did he give you anything, Dave?" And I said, "Well, what you have to do with Aidan, having listened to him for so many years and spoken to him a couple of times now, I've been in that lucky position. You decipher what he's saying a little bit, and he can always find it in what he says. And the 2 horses I took out of it were both in these colours, actually, that interview. Kyprios would be one for the Gold Cup, by the way.
Yeah.
later this month, the Ascot Gold Cup, and Thoughts of June. I've just got a feeling that now Wayne Lorden takes the ride, and with the classic form of Concert Hall and Tuesday, Ryan and Shamey were always going to sit on them, I think.
Wayne Lorden is an exceptional jockey.
Yeah, I'm no
Like,
problems
he's,
with
like,
that whatsoever.
properly
She's
good,
drawn
Wayne
in
Lorden.
9. It's just whether she, I don't know, just she has to, is she a bit more of a grinder? I don't know. But if there's any problems with the camber and Emily Upjohn, she's going to make her think a lot about it. And there has been money for her this morning, Marc Hryhorskyj, right?
Yeah, which one are you referring to there?
Thoughts of June. Who's getting
Yeah,
his
one of
trains
Aidan
together
O'Brien's.
again.
Yeah, it was around
becoming a problem.
20s. It's 14-1 at the moment on the Betfair Exchange. Little nibble with the Moonlight's quite strong as well, 13.5. Emily Upjohn solid around 2.46. There's 1.2 million in the market right now. But just from a value point of view, you probably get a better 6-4 shot than this, just from a value point of view.
Okay, I'm hearing we've got more socials coming in. Thanks, Marc, as well. We are T-minus 15 minutes away from the 2022 Oaks. Not the Epsom Oaks. Got scolded for saying that earlier. Apparently I said he can't say it, and I said it.
Kazoo, kazoo, kazoo.
We should also say
kazoo, kazoo,
That's what you think about, isn't
it?
I'm not sure if I was to play a kazoo, I'd go that tune. But you would probably...
That is a tune.
Yeah, okay. All
The
right.
advert.
Yeah.
see
That was
if
good.
We'll see if we can find you one for tomorrow. Nedster comes on and says, I've been waiting for this social, actually, it's a good one. Frankie will always be the best jockey of all time. Big week to be saying that, Nedster. 7-timer at Royal Ascot will never happen again. Can we all agree on that?
Well, yeah, I mean... Well, hopefully I have a 7-timer at Royal Ascot, and that would be what I'm be hoping.
Yeah, I think that's pretty tough to do.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting greedy.
Some
now.
effort, that, I mean...
We get 4-timers, we get 5-timers
Yeah.
pretty regularly for the enormous... No, I was trying to think of another anomalous. I was just trying to think of a posh word that didn't come out at all.
Really a good move.
But you know when you hear like a 4-time, 5-time, we get that, but a 7-timer, it's not
I
gonna
got
happen
through
again,
to
really,
the
is it?
champion bumper once on Cheltenham Day.
Did you?
Yeah.
I went through the
I
card
bet to
once at Cheltenham,
appreciate-
Oh, don't,
at
that's
the Open
painful.
meeting.
Appreciate it was the one that let me down.
Have you ever been through a card? That's another one, isn't
No,
it? We should do that
I've
on the show one
gone
day.
twice, once, and it went to the last
have.
race.
I've done once the last race.
Yeah.
At
Richard
Wetherby.
Austin, the Spotlight Doyen, who's also having his own anniversary because it marks the day that today is the day that Richard Austin joined all these years ago. That was on our
Yeah,
Keith,
yeah,
did you see that
workplace,
come up?
yeah.
Keith Mowers did that. Richard Naps, bum bum ba. Thoughts of June. Look, Spotlight verdict. He's napped it. He's with me. I'm happy. I'm in
Oh,
good
can't
company.
read that, so.
Bullish.
Bullish. Quite right. It's the sort of MO, if you we
can't
often
read-
say that here, of the Spotlight
Oh, yeah.
department to nap in the big race of the day. And Thoughts of June, interesting. All right, so could this be a 4th Oaks win for the favourite trainer? I was working out how to say joint trainer. You forget about these joint trainers sometimes, don't you? Mark Johnson's the one I'm really forgetting about. And no slight on Charlie whatsoever. I'm just so used to Braveheart being on the name.
Yeah, I like it. We were talking about it before, weren't we?
Well,
I
it's the
really like
future
it
and,
with
it's a lot
Marc
to
and
like about it,
Charlie
yeah.
and John and Thady or Thady
Is it
and
Thady
John.
or Thaddy?
Thady.
Well, obviously we know it's
Thady.
Thady, but it's Thaddeus, isn't it, you see?
It's Thady.
I know, but everyone calls him Thady.
You had a chat with him though last
I love
week.
him. I really love him. But I wouldn't go, oh, hi, Thady. He'd be like, sorry?
Well, it's Thaddeus.
He's very
that's what I'm saying.
charming. He's quite...
He sounds exactly
Like
like
his
John
dad.
Gosden when he
He's like
speaks.
his
like-
John's dad
Dad.
was called Towser, wasn't he, John's
very
dad? So.
calm. The daughter's lovely as well. She's got a wonderful name. What's her name now? Very blonde hair. She's got a great name.
Do you know, if I could invite anyone around the dinner table, you know when everyone says, who's your worldie, past and present dinner table be, John Gosden would be on it for me.
I do.
He's
like,
got one of them
just
voices
listen all
that
day.
just you could just listen.
could do
and listen
sleep
and listen.
podcasts. I mean, I could just hear him just...
We are going to get him in this studio, not in this. Well, John,
He's amazing.
John has
Dave's
flirted with
lovely.
the idea of coming on some feature shows. It just hasn't quite worked out. But we've been very, very close for. He doesn't really do Skype and all that sort of stuff, so we're going to have to go to Clarehaven. But listen, that will
Very
happen at
eloquent
some
man.
point.
I'm
trust me.
just gonna. Can't wait to see Emily Upjohn on screens.
He's in.
I want
Dave
to keep the
Lowe's
faith.
sights.
I want this to be the superstar that we're hoping
I think
for.
she is the most likely winner. Don't
Want
get
it
me
to
wrong. I
happen,
just think
Dave.
that the prices you can definitely you
When
should
was
be
the
looking to
last
take her on.
unbeaten horse to win an Oaks? I've got it in front of me,
What? I don't get the question. When
and I
was?
guess I can see why the comparison was there now.
Can you tell me the question?
It was
Gruder.
Gruder.
Yeah.
But she won one. Unbeaten horses in classics. Don't see a lot of it these days, do you? Obviously, the Frankel is the classic one you think about.
Because Enable was beaten.
See the
wasn't
stars,
she?
obviously.
Shutter Speed beat Enable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there that day.
Yeah.
She was very much the second string Enable was. Then she went to Chester.
I put Shutter Speed as my horse to follow for the season that year.
She had her first foal run the other day, I think, didn't she?
Shutter Speed?
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, the sort of thing you should be au fait with.
Yeah, she's bled in the Prix d'Anne, I think, and
She
never
just
really
didn't
came
quite
back.
go on with it, did she? Very good horse on her day. Look, we're digressing slightly, but let's go through them all, shall we? Have we done Nashwa a bit? Because Marc, are they where are they queuing? Where's the Hryhorskyj
Yeah, let's
queue
not
at the
ignore
moment?
Nashwa.
Yeah, the queuing. Yeah, Nashwa was impressive last time out. Travelled very well, quickened away smartly. But Emily Upjohn, 2.38. There's 1.4 million in the market here, so it's a really strong market. But the backers are coming for her now. Consort Hall slightly on the drift, a little bit of money for With the Moonlight at 12 to 1. You're just talking about Mark Johnson. We've actually seen a little bit of money for Royal Patronage for tomorrow. That one's in, I think it's around 35s on the Betfair Exchange. It's matched around 60, 60, so it's been quite popular on the exchange. But
It's got a chance.
Emily Upjohn. Yeah, especially if it's going to suit front runners. I think it ran well for a long way in the Guineas. I was just disappointed the Aiden of Roger Varians has been pulled. I thought that would have absolutely loved the step up in trip. But Emily Upjohn queuing up for this one.
I love her.
Can she remain unbeaten?
Well,
I don't think so, but we'll see.
Marc, we are going to go to Natalie Green. We're going to beam into Upjohn watch because she's coming out. And you wouldn't want the trumpets to be blowing next to her. I think Gosling would be doing his nut, wouldn't he?
Dave, I love her every time I see her again. She just makes me fall in love with her again. She's got her red hood on, which actually basically just goes over the ears and can just help them keep a little bit calmer. Very wise move, keeping that little red hood on her. She's having a good look around. Red hood obviously does come off at the start. She won't race in that. She looks a lot calmer than I thought, which is pleasing me greatly.
Hat to the rafters, isn't it? Now, this is the moment. So, this is what I mean. If you're on Emily Upjohn, you're thinking, just please quietly get down to
Emily,
the start.
please
And
don't
I just saw a load
spin
of French horns blown in her face.
Yeah, don't do anything crazy now. She looks okay at this moment. I'm
There's
so
Nashwa,
excited.
stablemate, following her down. They're all quiet as a mouse at the moment, aren't they? Frankie is that. Oh, and the poor old Parky's one's coming in. It's on its toes all of a sudden. The curse. Kawida on her toes a little bit. Look at Nashwa. She's gorgeous, doesn't she? She used to fly in the ointment, I think. We'll go through the rest of them for you out there, by the way. Tranquil Ladies, etc. with Moonlight. So there is Moon de Vega. Tranquil Lady coming through now, then watching him go down. Great to see. Look at that. I can't see one blade of grass that's not on the track, Paisley, or any bits of concrete. Epsom packed to the rafters. Brilliant to see. It was limited numbers again last year, 2020, of course, which is a disaster. And here we are back. And here's one that's on its toes as well with Moonlight as they switched to
with Moonlight.
Tom Clover from
I don't know how many have
Hryhorskyj's
got the
trainer.
red hoods on.
I know, yeah.
Nearly all of them, so many have got the red hoods on, but I don't blame them. It's a huge
It makes
packed
sense
day.
because it is so loud there. It's like a cauldron when you are running
Good
past
point.
and if you can take it off. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't risk, given that you can just put them on and take them off if others are doing
Did they
it.
both have hoods on?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
They both had-
Gozzy loves this.
There's
then.
only one that hasn't had a hood
There was
on
only,
so far.
two. Tranquil Lady didn't have one on, I don't think.
I mean, I'm loving seeing Tom Clover getting his moment in the sun. It's quite right as well, but we would like to see him going down. We're on Upjohn watch here, Tom Clover, if you don't mind.
She looked good to me. She still just impresses me, the stature.
You've never been to Epsom, have you?
Never been to Epsom, which is just outrageous.
It's somewhat surprising considering you are the foot soldier out there.
Yeah, I know. I need to go. I'm upset now. I've not been.
I've not been for years and years, actually. Mainly
Here's
because I do stuff
Rosemary.
Yeah,
like
we're
this.
jolly up. We used to always go.
Oh, yeah. I went on a
Kiel,
proper
we had
jolly
a
up.
few.
What was the last derby? What was the derby winner you saw?
I've never been at the derby.
On the derby day.
I went. It's always Keel's birthday this week, so we were in.
He's next week, isn't he?
It was 2 days ago.
Was
I think
it?
his
I
birthday.
thought he said
yeah.
it was next week to us this morning. Oh, I should have said happy birthday.
Because it was on Oaks Day a couple of years ago, and we
was
went.
talking about his birthday.
Yeah, good, because you're both Geminis.
We are both Geminis.
Yeah, we went and had a day in the which we paid for in the hospitality box at there.
Oh, right, okay.
We had a right good day.
Just in case the finance team are listening.
Still lit up.
The Algarve is on its
Algarve.
turn. Concert Hall looks really nice. Tuesday's going down really well. Look at that, that home straight. If you're watching at the moment, I guess get some socials up then. I'm looking for thoughts of June as well. We keep on it. But Craig Ruddock comes on. Craig, welcome back. Razor Ruddock. Emily Upjohn looks the best. Has top breeding. Has shown the best form. Can quicken. Offers a good strong pace. Quite, which we're expecting to be in this race. Absolutely, Craig. Good luck with the Fav. Weighing in with Lee Mottershead and the rest. Keith Hulse says there's no Queen at Epsom today, But Holly Doyle may well be crowned Queen of Epsom when Nashua wins for Keith Hulse.
Be some story, wouldn't
Good
it?
socials, those. Love that. Well done, Will Carey in the studio for
Be
building
some
that.
story
Great.
for
Yeah,
Holly
she's
Doyle.
got plenty of power about her, and the stamina from a sire
Some
frontal.
story.
But I think she'll stay anyway. Actually,
Well, I mean,
on both sides.
it's a matter of time before she gets a classic, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, Emily looks good. Emily.
Husband and
looks
wife, as you
good.
mentioned. Emily's going down. You on it? How's Up John Watch going?
Very, very well.
She looks very settled, doesn't she?
She looks just
Why haven't I seen thoughts of Junior? I'm livid about this. Can I?
so excited. What have you not seen yet?
No, she's grey as well. Should we?
She's tearing off. She's teared away. No, I'm joking.
With the Moonlight was on toes a little bit. Had a Pretty Polly win, a bigger price than we were expecting.
Do you
Considering
want
it's
to know
William
something
Buick and Charlie
interesting?
Appleby.
Do you want to know something interesting?
You're going to tell me something interesting.
It's up for debate, so it's not absolutely set in stone. But do you know horses have a relatively, quite an impressive photographic memory?
Yeah, you haven't told me this before.
So genuinely, by taking them to a race
Richard Hall's
course,
basically
or
every
by
equine is.
taking them, they get to know their stable hands. They can recognise people even if they don't see people for a long time. Because obviously it must be sort of instinct to make sure they're safe because they're flight animals.
Yeah.
So they actually have a reasonably photographic memory, which I think is incredible. So horses that often visit the same courses, or they go in the same horse box, or they've got a little companion, sometimes they have to have the same companion with them. They're just, I was just reading an article the other day and I was amazed because I'm like, well, why does my horse spook at the same tractor all the time? What's wrong with it?
That is
they have
interesting,
a
isn't it?
semi-photographic memory.
Horses for courses and all that sort of thing. There is some method behind it, isn't there?
There is, and if they
Well,
have
that
bad
was interesting.
experiences, they do remember.
I
which
never
is-
heard that before. That's
Yeah.
really
I
interesting.
should dig out the article later. It's fascinating. I got bored halfway through, but I read
There you
most.
go. There you go. All right. It makes you
It
think
got
about great
very
commentators, doesn't
scientific
it?
halfway through. I couldn't read the words. I was like, oh, okay, no, I get the gist. I get the gist.
How's Up? Look, you're on Up John Watch.
Yeah, she just looks amazing, but so does Nashua.
Yeah, there's Fly in the Ointment.
She
G-Rod
is
likes
quite
this one.
eye-catching, isn't she?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the others then. With the Moonlight, Pretty Polly winner. Tagruda won, of course, the Pretty Polly. John Goslin's the last unbeaten horse to win the Oaks. She's going down that route. I can see it. It maybe fell apart a little bit, that. Tranquil Lady, Tom Marquand.
Who's on Tranquil Lady? It was
Keels,
on,
I think.
Keels on Tranquil
For
Lady.
Joseph O'Brien. DJ did a really good piece with him
Well,
in the
she's
week.
going to stay, isn't she? No problem, and beyond.
She's up for mile 2, but she was in the Blue Wind. Is it the Blue Wind or the Blue Wand? It's something like that. She's State Arrest sister, isn't she, basically? Half-sister, who Joseph's done so well with. I'm not cast iron that she'll stay, actually, but we shall find out. And I think that
She
means
would.
that we have mentioned the whole field, which is lovely.
That's good.
Let's go to Marc. Is the queue still growing for Emily Upjohn?
It was a little bit of late money there for Nashua. Went into around 9-2, but back out to 5-1 now. Emily Upjohn's just going between 2.4 and 2.5 here. She's 6-4 on the Betfair Exchange right now. Concert Hall's quite strong as well. It was into 11-1. They can't really decide at the top of the market. Nashua back into around 5.7. I think that's the value there. I think that one should probably be around 7-2. Probably have the favourite around maybe 2-1, 9-4. That's how I'd price it up.
Lovely, Marc. Thank you very much. Good luck with your Rogue Millennium, man.
Yep.
That would be very interesting indeed, wouldn't it? And I'll tell you what, this is a very interesting runner, actually, Tom Clover. You could have gone anywhere, really, with this filly. Up John Watch, you're looking at your phone for some reason because you're...
I'm just trying to look everywhere and
Have you
everything.
got into it? Because you usually like to try and put a few bets on through the Racing Post app, I should say. She's doing it.
Always through the Racing Post app. I have actually got a couple of bets on. My forecast, Emily Upjohn with Concert Hall.
OK, all right.
I'm just still, I'm keeping my beady eye out, Dave. I am. I'm just trying to get
Daniel
so much information from everywhere.
Daniel Halazuka, I think I've got that right, says Rogue Millennium for me as well. King coming from Only One Ride, says Jesus. Lots for Tuesday, I think. Jared, welcome. Jared Featonby. Can't wait for this race. It's late here in Oz, but it's worth it. Great place to be.
Oh, brilliant.
Jared, well done. Happy days. Down under. Great to have you with us, man. Absolutely lovely. Loads of people out there watching. This is the Oaks. The Cazoo Oaks, not the Epsom Oaks.
Of
course,
She's very weak, Emily Upjohn.
Emily Upjohn's on the
Now.
slide.
Yeah, 1.8 million in the market. It's a really strong market. She's out to 2.6 now. So they're trying to layer now on the Betfair Exchange. They're queuing up to layer.
I wonder
why.
Well, they all sort of look like they're sliding a little bit. Tuesday looks solid to me, Marc, as
Some
well.
of them look a
with
little bit
Moonlight coming in.
starstruck, don't they? Some of them just
Concert
look like
Hall
this.
into 9-1 from 14s as well.
Which one?
Concert Hall, 9s from 14s on the Betfair Exchange.
Yeah, she's rock solid, isn't she? Shamey
Get a
Heffernan
good
from
look
10.
at her,
If you're
Dave.
wondering sometimes why people like to draw wide over the mile for here, Parky, it's because they have to kind of go a sort of weird path, don't they?
Yeah, they kind of. It's good to be one at first.
If
and
you're
then
in
they
one,
have
you've got to
go
go
out
right
and then-
immediately,
Yeah,
haven't
they
you?
have to go right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
there's
you
a-
need to be. You're better off on the outside for the first 2 furlongs.
Great to see Kieran
before
Fallon
they
doing
come
the
in.
draw yesterday, by the way. Good to see Kieran back out there, and that ride on Chris Kim, probably one of the best Derby winning rides I've ever seen. And it's great to hear him talking about how he thinks a Desert Crown will go, and you definitely want to be wide early, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're drawn on the outside, probably the best play be stall one. Coffin box usually for this race, but we saw with Adyar last year, he pulled it off and we all thought no one could do it, apart from Natalie Green insufferably. And of course we think that stall one is not bad, Parky, because they're coming stands side. Is someone going to explore the stands rail in this? Are they going to be brave enough?
I don't think so.
If you're going to come over
We'll
that
see.
far,
I mean, be brave. But there wouldn't have been. Someone would have done it before if there was any chance of it, would there?
I was watching them going down to the post. I
Yeah.
wondered whether
That
anyone might
handicap,
try and
yeah.
hug the rail to have a little look at
A
it.
bit risque to do it now.
A little bit risque.
With the moonlight's quite warm.
Is she?
Going down, circling at the start. She's the warmest of the rest. Tuesday's very calm in preliminaries and concert.
Oh, this is exciting, isn't it?
next,
And again, I've still not seen Thoughts of June. How's she looking
I'm
out there?
I'm
Anyone
trying
out
to
there?
look for you.
Right, go on
I'm-
June watch now.
I'm looking, I'm keeping an eye.
It's a lot of money for this Rogue Millennium, 55s into 28s now. Been smashed in the Betfair Exchange.
We've cottoned off a few gambles. Let's hope it goes better than the other one.
Concert Hall's very strong as well, 9.8. The favourite's very weak at 2.72. Might go
Lots
for
of
around
people
2.8.
up there for Nashwa in Let's Go Thoughts of June, says Jake Galloway. Let's go Thoughts of June. Yes, Gosden deserves to win this, says Nesta. Bed's trainer in my book. A lot of good trainers in this, aren't there? Tomorrow we will be back, of course, here with you. Same time, same place. It's Desert Crown. Is he going to be reigned king of the Derby for Sir Michael Stout? How good was Bay Bridge, by the way? We've spoken about this on the panel last Saturday. Proper horse, isn't he? Proper horse.
Stout's having a really impressive season, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
He's kind of.
A lot of people saying he's back. A lot of people saying, well, where did he go? But he's got back at the
he's-
classic
Yeah, it
level,
can
isn't
be
he?
a bit like that though, can't it?
Legend of
Need
the
the horses.
game.
Yeah. Need the horsepower. Vroom vroom.
I would Kevin Keegan it, Paul Foley says, if Holly beats Frankie in a photo finish. Love it.
I would rather back Desert Crown at the same price
Than Emily Upjohn.
Than Emily Upjohn,
Same.
yeah.
Same. But let's, who wins the Derby, Parky? Because
I
you're
think
not back with
I
us
think the
tomorrow.
favourite win, and I think that Royal Patronage, who chased him home in the Dante, I think
Dante
will run
form
well.
stands up.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that
I
Royal
also think
Patronage.
the
I think Royal Patronage is a good horse.
And you're back tomorrow, so
Looks pretty. Oh yeah.
find us a combination
I will,
podcast.
I will,
There
I
you
will.
go, it's on.
I wouldn't be going
You
as
heard it
far
here
as
first.
G-Rod, but I think Desert Crown could win the lot. this
There's
year.
your horse.
Tommy's quite
Thoughts
weak.
of June.
He's out to 3.25 Desert Crown on the Betfair Exchange, so he might go for a 9-4-5-2. Do you
Yeah,
want a bit
all
of
right.
that?
Yeah,
Sam
I'd be
Sheridan says
all
big
over
late
that.
money for Emily
All
Upjohn.
over
Is
it.
she still on the slide? She is. She's out to 2.74. So
Very weak.
very weak, says Marc Hryhorskyj. Disagreeing with some people out there in the RPL community. Lots of people watching. Harry Harley says, Dave, I won't be turning in tomorrow. You are boring. He's probably saying that with a bit of tongue-in-cheek, I'd imagine.
Oh,
but
he said we're all
Harry
boring.
Harlow.
Oh well, go and find someone else more fun.
That's it.
Good
ITV
luck.
is available.
Good luck.
It is available. Anyone know which is Tom's tips? Oh, sorry. You finally got that. You're on the hat trick. What are you going for? People want to know out there.
Concert Hall and Coeda each way.
Yes, Concert Hall, I think we had to agree on one to back each way. That's the one, isn't it?
We're all on concert hall,
Yeah,
aren't we?
I think
Faith?
Thoughts of June is overpriced and I love her, but I think if I absolutely had to give everything on an opinion for the top 3 or 4, it would be Concert Hall as well. So Aidan O'Brien's won 6 of the last 10, like he has with most of the classics out there. Was it 50% of the classics he won coming into this season, last 10 years or something? It's something ridiculous.
Well, I think-
We had that stat yesterday. Something insane. And again, all of his horses, not the top 2 in the market, and they've got the best form in the race. Gift, horse and mouth, isn't it, basically, on with this one. They always back Frankie. Nothing much to worry about, says Nedster. They are ambling. I mean, they are very, very slow to start, aren't they? And
crawling to the start.
look, I said about the jockeys line up here, we've got the best in the business, the best on the globe pretty much riding in this race, jockey-wise, and none of them, this is what they say, isn't it? Get down to the start, then you can start worrying about it, because it is a fizzy old atmosphere down there.
Yeah.
DJ's piece with Joseph O'Brien. Joseph talking about when he rode 13-8 on-shot Camelot to win the Derby.
Yeah.
And all he was worried about with the prelims, he wants to get him down there. I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a small field that year and he had much the best form. Of course,
I
he
get
hosed
that,
up.
but then you just almost like, then you just want to get them loaded and get them in and start, because the more they're getting upset, circling around. Like, I just want to see them going. I mean, they're just basically doing their last-minute tack check. So Nashwa's had her girth nicely fast, and stall handlers are just starting to clip the horses onto the lead reins to start to put them into the stall. So we are underway.
Yes, and Marc Hryhorsky's big priced, unbeaten, another horse is unbeaten trying to win this, bidding to be Tagruda. It's halved in price, Marc Rogie.
Yeah, it's been absolutely smashed. It was in a 25-1 there on the Betfair Exchange. There's 2.2 million in the market. So it's a strong market. I think Emily Upjohn's probably going to go off around 7-4, maybe 15-8 here. Nashwa's not moved at all. Stayed on the 5-1 mark. I definitely have that one short. I still think she's value 5-1.
All right, okay, good stuff then. So listen, that's a final update from Marc. They are going. I think cameraman's trolling me, guys. The only horse I've not seen so far.
No, I've seen her.
How was she looking?
Very pretty, lovely, dark, sort of steely grey.
Hard to judge greys, obviously, aren't they?
Because they don't have the same shine on their coat. She looked nice, lean, trimmed up, quite a high head carriage, but just looking around probably. Of course they're looking around. It's a huge day, but the loading is well underway now. We've only got sort of 2, 3, 4 or 5 left.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me with the Moonlight's last to go in. Charlie Appleby loves the late ticket. You can
He
buy
does.
tickets, can't you, to
He
go
does.
in last.
He does.
He loves that.
He does.
Did it with Pinatubo when he, of course.
Breeders' Cup, he was like, it was a lot of time
Time.
doing it. Yeah.
French
And
Derby,
it
of
is
course, this weekend on
slightly warm.
Sunday.
Oh, get excited!
All right, good luck wherever you're playing. We're about to jump off. This is the biggie of the day. What are we on? We're on time,
We're off.
amazingly, as well. Brilliant. And Emily Upjohn slightly missed the kick. First thing to say.
Oh.
She's going to have to come from last to first, whichever way you look at it. Old rival
She's out to
Algarve
5
out the back
to
as
2
well.
already here.
Go on, Marc.
Yeah,
What's she gone
5
out
to
to?
5-2 already out the back of the telly.
Well, thoughts of June, as expected, right up there. Thanks, Marc. With Moonlight, William Buick. Of course, we've got Tranquil Lady, Tom Marquand going. This is where they do the right angle then as they look for the rail at the top of the hill. And with Moonlight doing plenty, probably just going to lead. Interestingly, Wayne Lorden keeping Thoughts of June wide. Rogie Millennium right in the inside the Rogue. Going beautiful spot at the moment. Concert Hall maybe a bit keen. Kawida there as well. Nashwa out the back. Tuesday ridden for a turn of foot as well. Looking for Moon de Vega, the final one that I'm going to mention. Tracking old rival Thoughts of June in. I'm very happy with this at the moment, guys. Parky?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'd be worried if I'm on the favourite. I'm surprised she's not.
Out to 3-1 and running
Yeah.
here.
Whoa!
She's had on the course,
3-1
does she?
Emily Upjohn.
She still looks short for where she looks there. I mean, this is going to take a monster performance. For
It
her.
is.
I
It
feel
is.
a little-
Wayne Lorden puts the anchor down. They're going that magic jump speed of 30 miles an hour on the clock. Would you Adam and Eve it in the Oaks? With Moonlight then in second. Tranquil Lady, beautiful run through for her. The State of Rest sister coming off that Nace Blue 1 trial. Rogue Millennium up there as well. Moon de Vega. All right, Marc, quickly, succinct. Give us a market update in running.
Yeah, Nashwa's went favourite 11-4 and running here. Emily Upjohn's 3-1. Concert Hall 8-1. Rogue Millennium 20s. I'm just hoping they come centre here so we can get a run up the inside for Rogue Millennium.
We'll try and get that. You're on Upjohn watch. How's she going?
God, I feel sick.
Well, Frankie not
honestly-
panicking at all, is he? He's just letting it easing into it.
He's not panicking.
Thoughts of
He's-
June now starts to put the pedal to the metal. In they turn then. Coming out of Tattenham Corner. Moon de Vega starting to feel it. Her old rival. Console not sure how well she's going. Holly Doyle catching the eye on the
Frankie,
inside.
get up to move.
Plenty of ground still for the favourite to make up. Frankie is confident. He pulls
Come on,
her
Jack.
wide. Here we go. Thoughts of June. The
Come on,
bulldozer that
Frankie.
she is. Moon de Vega there. Rogue Millennium. Frankie sitting absolutely
Come on,
quiet.
Emily.
He's desperately confident. Tuesday coming in the inside. Listen to Marc Hryhorskyj. Here comes Tuesday on the inside. Thoughts of June paceless. Frankie's left it too late, I think. This is going to be Marc. Possibly Rogue Millennium. Here we go to Cleach.
Come on, Emily Upjohn.
Now coming. Ryan up, John.
Come on, Emily Upjohn,
Here comes the favourite. Class is going to
Frankie.
She's going to get there, I think. This is the starter. Tuesday pulls it out a bit more. Oh, Ryan Emily Upjohn on the line. Frankie on the line. Drama.
I'm
In
gonna
the
be
Oaks.
sick.
Have you ever seen a finish like that in the Oaks? All the main players there, according to the market. Nashwa had it chance. Has Frankie ridden one of
I'm gonna
the
be-
best Oaks rides? I think he has, guys.
I think he's beaten.
Oh, he's been down the line again. She's got back up, I think, Tuesday. Wow. Unbelievable scenes here on Racing Post Live for the first time and final time on this Friday. I can't believe what I've just seen.
I got no
How much
voice
ground
left.
did she make up there as well?
I know. That was
Unbelievable.
I mean, all the sectionalistas
Because
will be
she's a-
purring at this.
she's a
We're watching
monster
Aidan
with a
O'Brien now. He's
monster
on the phone
engine.
to whoever it is he's on the phone to after these moments. And I think it's his mum and dad who's doing it. Oh my Lord.
This isn't fair.
It's Tuesday for my money there, guys.
Yeah.
It's a bobbing finish. The two are pulled miles clear. It's going to one of the battalions. So I'm waiting for the producers to tell me what are they on. What's the betting, Mark?
The betting's been suspended. Tuesday was 101
Tuesday's one.
in the photograph.
What?
Wow,
No, the
Tuesday.
head was
She
just
was
down.
beaten and then she stuck her head down again. One went inside, one went nearest to Stan's rail. Frankie, after that slow start, had to deliver late. Has put her head in front on the line, and Ryan Moore, drawn in one, has done the Adyar. And Parky, you said it, if there was going to be a year to be in one, this was it.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's that was. I just still get my breath back. I mean,
Lee Motteset's going to be. He's going to be on top of the bins. He'll be getting in a bin,
I'm
isn't
sure that's why. Sorry for screeching it. I'm sure that's why there's no female commentator squawking away. But I know.
Well, that's why we love you, Nat, 'cause
I hate these
heart and sleep
finishes.
time, isn't it?
I hate these finishes because it was only because Emily Upjohn was on a different stride because her head had to come up because it's a horse. They can't just run like that. They've got 4 legs, so she had to come up because she's on that stride. So I don't.
And it probably costs you a neck. If one's going back, the other's going forward.
So annoying because it's just like you and it's not. So if there was like,
This is the greatest game of all this, isn't it?
There wasn't at any point I thought that Emily Upjohn was going to win until the last 3 strides,
furlong.
and then that was when she got beat.
But she's such a monster.
Imagine being
though.
Frankie
she's
now.
Massive. She's so powerful.
Could
What
Frankie
a
have
turn
done
of
anything
foot she's
different? I
shown
mean,
there.
she didn't break well, so I don't know if he could have done anything different.
You remember last year on Snowfall, he just went a long way out, didn't he? And went, see you against an inferior field. That was a good field. What was third, by the way? Was it Nashwa? They came well clear, didn't they?
Consort.
Well,
Yeah,
Millennium,
Nashwa.
by the way, Mark.
Nashwa
Great
was
shout.
It's concert fourth.
A furlong out, Mark. You were
Keep
going
there.
mental. Let's go to Marc Hryhorskyj then, because she's run a. I mean, look, 66 to 1 shot, halved in price. Proper horse, that.
Yeah, I mean, BSP at 25.4. Every chance for Jack Mitchell. He gave her a great ride. She's only went as low as 10s. I actually thought she would have went a bit shorter because she's hit the front. Nashwa was third, ran a good race, but Emily Upjohn, you'd be kicking yourself if you back down. I think she's massively unlucky loser. She's definitely handled the track. To be honest, I think she's the best horse in the race. If she came out the stalls with the rest of them, I think she would have won quite comfortably.
Wow, we get loads of social reaction still. People still tuning into the show despite the fact we've had a last race. And Eva Carty says, LOL, your reactions were awesome. Great
really.
stuff. You are listening.
Not really, Eva Carty.
You've still got another 2 shows to do now after this. And MI comes back on and says, have to say, best horse by a country mile was second.
Yeah.
Sickner for connections.
Sickner.
It's hard to
Sorry,
say.
no, I
that-
can't get over it. I'd have just dead heated it. I'm livid.
Isn't it great for this? This is why it's the greatest game of all this. We've got the jump season throughout the winter, brilliant, all towards Cheltenham, we know that, but the narrative for the flat season gets set in June, doesn't it? And now the rivalries that we've got going throughout, they'll be having another crack at each other. Where, I'm not sure. Irish Oaks?
I suspect Emily Upjohn will be kept at 1.5 miles when Tuesday. They might go Irish Oaks, or whether they drop back
Nassau
in trip, I don't know.
comes to mind, Glorious Goodwood.
Yeah,
You've got, of
possibly.
course, the Ribblesdale coming up. Wouldn't be surprised if Nashwa goes for that. Lots of people saying just need Desert Crown for the double there. Dimp comes on and says the best horse is the one that wins. Simple. And don't take anything away from Tuesday. She's really brave.
Yeah,
there,
no,
she?
we shouldn't. That's
and
mean.
she only won a maiden at the start of the season. You know, she's had 3 quick ones since then.
You know, she
Aidan
was
O'Brien.
tremendous, but when it goes that close on the nod and they're on a different stride, you can't really split them too much. Like,
And
but
thoughts of
Tuesday
Judy
was the
fell in a
winner.
hole late, actually, but maybe had a bit of a hard race at Chester. But she really served it up, ensured that everything was going to have to show its true colours.
Yeah. I felt like he gave her a good ride. He slowed it up at the right time, and then he had
And
to
then
kick at
kicked.
that point.
It's terrific
My
for
wife's
Tuesday.
back the winner, which is always a good thing.
Is that right? Has she indeed? There you go. Tuesday wins. All right. What was third? Have we got the actual result there? I don't know. We'll get the fourth
Was
for a
it
lot of you out there as
Nashwa
well.
and then Concert
I'm
Hill?
pretty sure it was Nashwa it was third.
Yeah,
Was
and
it
then
Nashwa
Concert Hill
third? I know
fourth,
someone saying Oi Oi Coida. Was Coida fourth? How did Coida run? You must have eyes on it.
Concert Hall was definitely fourth.
Was
I'm
it?
not
Okay,
sure about
there you're
Coida.
top 4. All right. Concert was just a little bit keen. Not sure she really handled the track. Did she quite get home?
I
don't know.
think she maybe ran a race. I think she was probably just beaten by a couple of good ones.
Final word, Aidan O'Brien, lots of fillies in the race. There we are, there it is. Thanks, guys, in the gallery. Tuesday, then, A lot of people expect.
I hope someone wasn't cheering home
Irish
Kawida thinking it was Nashwa.
It goes back to what Lee Mottershead said, didn't it? John Goswell has said coming down the stairs at the track today, if you missed Lee Mottershed's segment, it's the Guineas form you need to watch out for. Talk about smacking him in the face there. That is the best of the Guineas form.
I want to see a close-up again of the picture.
Emily Upjohn.
Finish myself.
Yes, indeed. I mean, oh man, if you're on Emily Upjohn out there, oh goodness gracious me. What have we just seen? We will be picking the bones out of that on tomorrow's show. Plenty of time as well. But 2 fillies coming clear. Good Oaks.
Good
Much
Oaks.
better
I
Oaks.
think that was a very good Oaks. I think they've all ran. Tuesday, pedigree alone is superb, but she's won and been placed in the 3 classics she's ran in. She's been second twice, I think, and won. Like, she's a top class filly, and I think Emily Upjohn should have beaten her, to be fair. So
the start, do we say the start cost Emily Upjohn? She was perfect on the way to
You
start.
would think so.
No
I mean,
worries about her temperament whatsoever, was there?
she's going to be a big favourite if them two were to meet again, you would think.
Oh, there we are.
Tuesday
then.
was brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
Take nothing away from the winner, yeah.
That's
Aiden
great.
wins again will be the headline.
I think we
but,
might be looking back at that Oaks. in a
Wasn't
few
quite
months'
to
time.
be, was
Yeah.
it, for Frankie then? No flying dismount. He got his head on the line and he got pipped again. Well done, Tuesday anti-post. Straight after the Guineas, a lot of people on we're seeing out there. Been great having you with us today, guys. Been great having you, Marc, as well. Go and land those drones safely now, man. Have a beer. You well deserve
Yeah,
it.
nice to see you, Marc.
Yeah, nice to see you as well, Natalie, and obviously Tom.
Yeah.
I think Hookham, obviously, highlight in the Coronation Cup, and what a race the Oaks was there.
Yeah.
Again, I was against that Emily Upjohn, but I think she's definitely the best horse in the race, and if they do reoppose, she's going to be a heavy favourite.
Marc, brilliant stuff as ever. I want that to say à plus tard next time I see you. And Boylan still beating that drum, and Road Millennium nearly got. It's always good to hear Marc screaming in the background. And look, Marc tries to get
One of
the
the
money
best
for charity. It's obviously well
jumpers
tried
around.
this year. He's done loads for the charity this year so far and last year as well. It's great to have Marc on. Barry will be in the studio tomorrow. Tom Park, we bid you farewell. You're going to try and smuggle your trophy out.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Hookham, of course, and the Rog Horse, Royal Champion. You are the Royal Champion of RP Live, the first Royal Champion of RP Live. You can hear them clapping all the way down to Australia, Trinidad, New York, wherever they're watching. Well done, the guys in the gallery. You'll be back tomorrow, Nat.
Yes.
1:45. I'm Dave Orton. I'll be with you too. Nothing crazy now tonight. The derby awaits us.